grounds of Mayfair High. Hi, everybody. Jim Watson back with John Jackson. For us, it's the game of the week. For these two schools, it may be the game of the year. These two schools met for the league championship a year ago. Mayfair had the ball on the 10-yard line, ran out of downs. La Mirada holds on. La Mirada has now won 37 straight Suburban League games.
Yeah, that 37-game streak is still intact. But one thing you didn't mention, Mayfair avenged that loss with a win in the CIF championship game. We come back a year later, 14 straight wins for Mayfair. And, of course, Jim, it is the Soon's house.
Both teams are undefeated in league, so it all comes down to this. But Mayfair is ranked #1 in the division as well, and they're 9-0, maybe the best back in Southern California. And this guy can play. He's for real. Big numbers, 5,000 yards, 88 touchdowns.
Yeah, he has big numbers, but the one thing that's most impressive is what he gets done off the field in the classroom. 3.8 GPA for Mike Williams, but he gets it done on the field as free safety and the running back. He's carried the load for Mayfair all year long. He'll have to do it one more night.
Just watching him in warm-ups, he looks very good, and he looks pretty scary as well. Don't forget about La Mirada. Don't write them off. They're 3rd in the division. They're 8-1 overall. As I mentioned, both teams are still undefeated. They lost Mike Lemon at the beginning of the year. Everybody thought that would be the end of La Mirada, but not so, because Chris Rudiger has come in and done a great job.
Yeah, Rudiger has really carried the workload for La Mirada. He's done it on both sides of the ball himself. As a fullback, very punishing, and also as a linebacker. That'll be his big role tonight. He'll be in the middle. His job to try to contain Mike Williams. But remember, La Mirada's successful if they run through Rudiger.
Big names, big talent, and a very big game for these two teams. La Mirada has won 37 straight league games. But remember, Mayfair got the revenge and won the CIF title. They meet for the 3rd time in 12 months, and it's the game of the week coming up next on Fox Sports Net 2.
Right now at Sizzler, we've got an offer that really sizzles. Our famous Sizzlin' Steaks, Sizzlin' Chicken, and Sizzlin' Shrimp. Now just $6.99. 5 Sizzlin' Platters just $6.99 at Sizzler.
The Supercut.
The show on, get paid. And all that glitters is gonna run. Only shooting stars break the mold.
J.D. Power & Associates ranked Dodge Dakota best compact pickup in initial quality. Add all these great features, and you can see why California thinks so highly of Dakota. Yet this Dakota Club Cab is easily within your reach, especially with this low $199 a month lease. Get a truck with very lofty credentials at a very down-to-earth lease. Dodge Dakota. Different.
The high school football game of the week on Fox Sports Net 2 is being brought to you by 24 Hour Fitness with over 300 locations worldwide and growing. Call 1-800-204-2400 for 24-Hour Fitness. Come on inside Bellflower High School, but it's just the district stadium because tonight it belongs to La Mirada and Mayfair. It's the game of the week on Fox Sports Net 2. Jim Watson and John Jackson, and of course Keith Owens down on the sideline. The head coaches from Mayfair, Mike Fitch, his 6th season, 47-19 overall, and of course that CIF title last year, 1998. Also coached 10 years at Whittier High School across the way, and they know each other well. John Mealy, 12 seasons. He also has the CIF title back in 1992. He's won 120 games as a high school football head coach. Keith Owens down on the sideline with a closer look at tonight's Suburban League showdown.
Thanks a lot, Jimmy. You know, you guys talked about Mike Williams in the open and what a key he is to the Mayfair offense. Well, La Mirada's key to stopping him begins on the defensive line with defensive lineman Vince Fiula. Fiula was a second-team All-State player last year for juniors, 6'2" and 280 pounds. And you talk about strong. This kid bench press over 400 pounds as a sophomore. Now tonight he's got his hands full because in addition to having to focus in on stopping Williams, he's going to have to contend with a very experienced front 5 for the Monsoons. He's going to have to shed his way off blockers, fight off the double team, the triple team, or whatever it is that he's seeing, get in the gaps to make plays on Williams, or at the very least funnel Williams back towards teammates so that they can make plays. He'll be a key factor tonight on whether or not the Matador defense becomes a Matador defense. Jimmy, back to you.
Oh, very nice, Keith Owens. Yeah, that's really what it's going to boil down to here, JJ. You know, if you look at it on paper, it looks like Mike Williams against that La Mirada defense. If he can run, Mayfair could win this football game easily. If La Mirada shuts him down, a whole different night.
Yeah, well, there's no secret that Mayfair's success is with number 3. That would be Mike Williams. But it's important that the supporting cast in all these big games play their role. He's going to need some help tonight. He has some able bodies. Joe Hunter, very capable receiver. He's back there returning number 4. He could play a big role tonight also.
Back deep, number 3 is Mike Williams. He's the guy we've been talking about, the 5,000 career yards and 88 touchdowns right next to him. Number 4, Tremel Whites. And also back will be number 10, Trevon Spears. Kicking off for La Mirada will be Sam Orr. If you missed it at the top, now they met for the league championship a year ago. Mayfair had the ball on the 10-yard line, ran out of time. La Mirada holds on. Their 37th straight, well, they've won now 37, counting this year. But Mayfair gets them back in the CIF final, the Division IX final, 28-14. And that's got to be a big confidence builder. Mayfair hadn't beaten La Mirada in 18 years.
Yeah, it has been a long time, but the one thing talking to the coaches, although they beat him in that championship game last year, they're looking forward to this one. This is the big one because this can break La Mirada's league streak. 37 games and running the second longest in the CIF currently right now.
John Mealy, we mentioned 12 years, but recently, 5 out of the last 7 CIF finals, they've been a part of those. And they won it all in 1992. Now, both coaches, we talked with Mike Fitch before this one. We ran into him underneath the goalpost, and I said, Coach, we're not from around here. What does this mean? And he said, only everything. It means the league title. It means seating. It means bragging rights. We live in this town. Our kids go to school.
Yep, and their programs grow off of wins like this. A lot of kids that are becoming to high school make the decision. As you mentioned, Jim, both schools in the same area. A lot of kids have choices of where they want to go to school. So both coaches know more than just a CIF championship or a conference championship is at stake. There's a lot with bragging rights and all the other things that go with it.
And we mentioned that these two teams met twice last year. They met for the league championship, and then they met again for the Division IX title at Cerritos College. It was 14-7 Mayfair when La Mirada. Chris Cox goes to Gomez in the end zone. A good catch on the fall away. Game's tied at 14. Back comes Mayfair. Darius Hodge, 5-yard touchdown, breaking out of tackles, getting chalk on his belly. He missed the first meeting against La Mirada, wanted to get back, and it's 22-14, and then Mike Harrison goes to Joe Hunter, the long pass, touchdown Mayfair. They win the championship 28-14. They get to raise the banner. Forget about the league title because Mike Fitch and his guys bring home the big banner, the CIF championship. So it's Mealy and Fitch, it's La Mirada and Mayfair, and it's the game of the week on Fox Sports Net 2. Keith Owens on the sideline, Jim Watson, John Jackson up top. Good to have you with us. And they're filling this place up still. A line of cars out in the street, and Orr kicks off. It's Williams, 3 yards deep, and in high school, you cannot run it out. Boy, do we hate that rule, especially when it lands in the hands of a guy like Mike Williams. Chris Cox, the Mayfair quarterback. They don't ask their quarterbacks to do a whole lot around here. About 55%, 11 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Very efficient, no mistakes. Drew Gonzalez, the Mayfair quarterback. Drew Gonzalez. And the first handoff, predictably, to Mike Williams. Now Mayfair will run a spread offense tonight. The offensive line very experienced with 3 3-year starters on the left side. Marcus Johnson was all league. Jesse Bender was all CIF. And the center, Adam Bridges. Mike Williams, of course, we've said he's awesome. 26 touchdowns in the last 5 games, over 1,500 yards this year.
Yeah, Jim, remember the numbers that Mike Williams is putting up this year have been in part-time. A lot of times Mayfair has blown opponents out by halftime. Mike Williams has yet to play a full game and play deep into the second half.
Mayfair, of course, if you haven't seen the spread offense, multiple formations, and it does ask this guy to make some decisions. Drew Gonzalez, I mentioned, very efficient. 11 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Takes over for Mike Harrison. He was the quarterback last year and is now at the University of Hawaii and doing a good job playing for June Jones. Ball outside the 20-yard line. They're going to put the ball in the air out in the flat to Mike Williams. Defender falls down. Williams, some space out near the 40-yard line. Now defensively, La Mirada has only given up 4 touchdowns this year. Vince Fulla was all-state as a junior. He leads the team in tackles. Josh Rangel was also all-league. That's your guys up front. Linebacker Tony Russo gets the start for Nick D'Amico, who separated a shoulder, collarbone last year. Chris Rudiger will clog the middle at linebacker. Chris Aho is the rover, big hitter, and Terrell Shavers has 3 picks in the secondary. Those are all La Mirada defenders on the field. La Mirada in the yellow and white. Mayfair, the Monsoons, in the home blue and white. Williams again, maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it looked like Rudiger in the middle, able to stop Williams, but some significant things happening in opening drive for people that haven't seen Mayfair play. They go over that left side, Jim, as you mentioned, a lot of good players, Johnson, Bender, and Bridges. So if you see Williams run, most of the time it will be left. And one new wrinkle, he only has 9 receptions on the year. As you already seen in the first opening drive, a new wrinkle. They moved him out to receiver and threw him a pass.
And now Williams comes out of the backfield, lines up as a receiver. Joe Hunter, the bottom of your screen, the fastest guy in the field. They throw it out in the flat to Greg Garcia. Craig is knocked down after a short gain. He'll bring up 3rd down. Anthony Vili on the tackle.
Well, Woody Grayson calls the plays for Mayfair, and so far, some new things. Mayfair is predominantly a running team. Drew Gonzalez completed 45 passes on the year, but you see already to the air, able to get the ball out to Craig Garcia. He only had 5 catches on the year. A lot of that, as we talked about, is due to their blowing teams out, so they don't throw the ball much. But this is a predominantly running team, and already some new wrinkles for Mayfair in a big game.
3rd down and 5, our first big play of the game, but keep tally marks at home because you'll see many of them tonight. This one should go down to the wire. And when they need 5, they give it to the guy who has over 1,500, Mike Williams.
Well, so far it's been plain and simple for Mayfair, and back to the basics. Over that left side, Johnson, Bender, and Bridges. Just the power. You see the ability of Williams. He's able to keep the vision, keep going north and south, get up the field, and pick up a positive gain.
Well, no secret they're going to hand the ball to Mike Williams tonight, and I would too. Go ahead, try to stop him. Williams goes about 6 feet, 190 pounds. And again, 3 receivers, and Williams the only back. Quickly out in the flat, Joe Hunter. Now, Joe Hunter, very small, but very quick, 10-6 in the 100.
And Jim, I like so far what Mayfair is doing. They're mixing the ball around. So far, Garcia's had a touch. Joe Hunter there with the reception. Of course, you know Mike Williams is going to get his touches. But this is very important. As we talked about, Woody Grayson calls the plays for Mayfair. He's getting a lot of people involved early.
Garcia and Hunter are the wideouts. And now Terrence Young, the fullback, in front of Mike Williams. Drew Gonzalez doing exactly what we'd heard about. He hands off to Young here. Young breaks the tackle. Young around the outside. Young may go. Touchdown, Mayfair.
Terrence Young brings the Mayfair fans to their feet. An electrifying run as we talk about the different people that have touched the ball. You know they're going to key on Williams. This time Young able to break into the secondary, just break tackles. And look at the big guy, 5'11", 200. And he's all of 200, Jim. I think he's a little bit heavier than 200, but you can see that big guy can get it rolling and get moving.
200 before lunch. Eddie Ortega on to add the extra point, the left footer. And he knocks it through, and that's good news for Mayfair fans because one of the reasons that they came up short last year is trouble in the kicking game. Now Terrence Young takes a simple handoff and turns it into a complicated play. 34 yards. He leaves everybody in his wake. It's the Monsoons on top early. It's 7-0.
It seems like when you really need a massage, you can't have one. Well, hold on. Introducing VibraTouch, the amazing new personal massager that slips right on your finger. VibraTouch's microelectronics massages at an incredible 13,000 vibrations per minute. The competition only vibrates at 9,000. Watch how these grains of sand dance with delight as VibraTouch comes in contact. VibraTouch comes complete with 4 interchangeable massage heads. Use the smooth tip to relax delicate areas. The raised tip pinpoints problem areas. The small nubular head works great on individual muscles, and the big nubular head to soothe larger muscle groups.
Wow, VibraTouch is like getting 4 massagers in one, and it's only $19.99.
Call now, and we'll include this exclusive applicator head for lotions and creams. Call now and save $5. That's $14.99 for everything.
Order now, and you'll receive a free trial membership in Best Price USA, America's premier buying club.
To order VibraTouch for only $14.99 plus shipping, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-452-6777.
Arizona-Oregon State highlights college football Saturday on Fox Sports Net.
Back at the District Stadium in Bellflower, Mayfair and La Mirada in a Suburban League showdown. Both teams undefeated. The league champion walks out of here tonight. Mayfair goes 8 plays, 80 yards. Terrence Young, a handoff, 34 yards, and a touchdown. Now, just how Mayfair wanted to start this game.
Yeah, that's exactly how they wanted to start this game, and they did it within their game plan. They wanted to run left. They did that exclusively on this drive. They wanted to get a lot of people involved early, and they did that. 4 different skill players have touched the ball already for Mayfair in just one drive. That will keep the La Mirada defense off balance.
Miguel Ratzlaff back deep now for La Mirada to try to turn things around as he waits for the kick. Mark Kennedy. And whistles, and we may have the procedure offsides on Mayfair, so they'll probably have to set this one up and do it again.
And Jim, that has to be a big confidence booster for Mayfair. They were not even slowed on that drive. Every play seemed to work exactly how they diagrammed it. They moved right down the field. Now it'll be La Mirada's turn to answer.
And John Mealy obviously concerned already. We're only a couple of minutes into this one, but his defense, which had only given up 4 touchdowns all year, bends on the first drive. They didn't look like a great defense.
No, I mean, Mayfair made it look way too easy, but I got to give credit to the play calling. They mixed plays nicely. When they ran the ball, they did what they wanted to do, was go over that big left side. But that's why it's a 4-quarter game. We have a long way to go.
Woody Grayson, the offensive coordinator for Mayfair, doing the mixing, shuffling of the deck on the offensive plays.
Here we go. Right up the middle. Here we go.
Back up the middle and out to the 35-yard line goes Jarrell Shavers. Jesse Cox on the tackle, 24 yards on the return. Chris Cox, a 2-year starter at quarterback, very effective, and he will run the ball quite a bit. That wasn't by design, but when Lemon went out at the beginning of the year, they needed somebody to pick up some of the slack, so he's carried the ball 25 times this year, scored 4 touchdowns through the air, 962 yards, 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. And here comes the front 5. Now Mayfair, their defense, they run a 50, and it looked like they were all in that time.
And Jim, Allen Kennedy came from his nose guard position, number 40 in the middle, and he stopped that play before it could even get started.
Offensively for La Mirada up front, led by a left guard, Vince Fula, 6'2", 280, and we said he goes both ways. He's great on defense. Second-team All-State as a defensive lineman. The center is Marcus Stout, who's all-league. Bo Price, the quickest receiver on the team, and of course Chris Rudiger, who we talked about at the beginning. The back, he is a monster. And the Mayfair defense came to play. How about this defense? I said they run a 50. They've been very strong in this season as well. Marcus Riley, returning starter at defensive end. Jared Magalogo missed both La Mirada games last year with a broken leg, so you know he wants to play tonight. Terrence Young is all-league at nose guard a year ago. He's playing linebacker this season, made a nice adjustment. And Mike Williams, of course, who's the offensive stud, also plays in the secondary. And some colleges, JJ, think he's better there.
Yeah, that is the question. A lot of colleges want him to come to their schools as a defensive back, but he says he's having nothing of it. He wants to play running back.
And they try to go quarterback draw, and I'll tell you what, it's like Mayfair knew the script, because 3 plays in a row, they are right in with the snap of the ball.
Once again, the man in the middle, Allen Kennett. He's a nose guard, and Jim, a lot of teams don't play the 50 defense because it's hard to find nose guards with this type of ability. See how far he's penetrated into the backfield. He makes that tackle before the play could even get started. If you can't block the nose guard in a 50 defense, you're going to have problems all night long.
Nate Oratel will have to kick it back to Mayfair. Williams is back deep with Mike Bragg. I'd kick it away from Williams, but you can't do it. Now he drops the football loose. And maybe Bragg got back on it. La Mirada says they have it. Oh, JJ, it looked like Mike Williams was a little slow to go get that football after he put the pig on the rug. And La Mirada gets a big break because they had nothing going.
Yeah, give credit to the coverage for La Mirada, but you're right, Jim. Once Mike Williams dropped the punt, it looked like he sort of lost track of where it went. The pursuit is going to get to him, and right there, a nice job. La Mirada able to cover the ball, great special teams. The first man down knocked Mike Williams off the ball and allowed the rest of the pursuit to come up with the fumble recovery, and now they're in good field position.
Spencer Hamilton, the fumble recovery for La Mirada. And how quickly high school football goes back and forth. It was all Mayfair. Now here's Vaca on the toss inside the 30. Junior Vaca, the sophomore running back. He's the guy who took over when Mike Lemon went out. Mike Lemon, if you're not familiar with him, almost 2,600 yards last year, and only 24 guys in California history have ever rushed for 2,500 yards. Terrence Young on the stop for Mayfair.
Yeah, Vaca has done a nice job, though, filling in for Lemon. On the year, he has 447 yards, 11 touchdowns rushing and 1 receiving, so Vaca has done a very good job as Lemon's replacement.
And he's only a sophomore, JJ. They give it to him again. Look at the kid go. It's Vaca. And Vaca's in the end zone. Now ball pops loose right at the goal line. And if this ball rolls out of the end zone, it's a touchback. And I think that's what's going to happen.
It is going to be Mayfair's ball. And Jim, that hit was put on by number 3, Mike Williams. He's going to show you why colleges want him in the defensive backfield. It's hits like this. Vaca's going to take it off tackle and does a nice job with the vision. He sees the cutback lane and gets right through it. Now he's in the secondary. He does a nice job of switching the ball to the right hand, but Williams, punishing hit, and Vaca gives the ball up, goes through the end zone, and of course the rule is it'll be a turnover. Mayfair's ball at the 20-yard line on a touchback.
Oh, that has got to drive a coach nuts. A great run. If the kid gets tackled, he got the ball on the 6-inch line, but I don't know if he fumbled it so much, JJ, as he might have been trying to take it out and reach across the line with it.
Well,
he was right there.
Probably a combination of both.
Well, at any rate, it goes back to Mayfair, so they trade with turnovers. And nothing shows up on the scoreboard because of it. And it remains 7-0.
And Jim, now that both teams have had the ball on one possession, we'll see how the chess match plays out. It's going to be important for the La Mirada defense to make an adjustment. They need to stop the run, definitely over that left side of the offensive line, but they also have to be wary of the other threats on the field. It'll be interesting to see their adjustments.
So far, Mike Williams, 4 carries, 23 yards. He's got 32 touchdowns on the season, and he can score as soon as he gets off the bus. A little movement at the left defensive end, and I don't think they'll care. Williams dragged down from behind after a first down. Terrell Shavers is the guy who got to Williams. They're going to be chasing number 3 all night.
Yeah, and Mike Williams hits the hole so quick. He's really right on top of the defense before they have time to react. Already has good numbers on the night. Averages 8.2 yards a carry on the season, so actually those numbers are down on the season totals.
Yeah, but he's not rushing against La Mirada's defense every night. Mike Fitch, now, he doesn't look happy, but he's up 7-0. Williams goes out in the slot now. Instead, they give it to the only guy left in the backfield.
Yeah, and Rudiger right there in the middle, able to make the tackle. Rudiger is going to be in that middle linebacker position. He's second on the team in tackles with 40 on the year, and he has to have a big night, Jimmy. He has to clog up that middle. The adjustment that Mayfair has made in the early going is they've been running outside of the tackles, trying to hit the edges and get away from Rudiger. He's going to have to do a nice job of clogging the middle and scraping to the outside to give his teammates some help.
Alan Kennett was the guy who carried it last time. Number 40 goes both ways for Mayfair. Back to Mike Williams, and 2 yellow hats right in his face, and they're going to tell him about it. And one of them was Rudiger.
Rudiger and Fuella, both of them able to make penetration.
You enjoyed that hit, didn't you?
Oh, man. I mean, this is how it's done. Rudiger shoots the gap that time. Rudiger and Fuella, the 2 top defenders on this La Mirada team, in the backfield as soon as they hand off, and that's how you can stop Mike Williams. Don't let him get started.
He never had a chance, JJ. As soon as he got the ball, you could see he was trying to backpedal. And Gonzalez didn't see it coming. Mike Fitch has to call a timeout. Yeah, confusion. And he looks up at the press box and says, come on, guys, help me out here. No headsets, no clipboard, but a whole lot of attitude on the Mayfair sideline. But they lead at 7-0. We're coming back. The game of the week.
Your Southern California Ford dealers present this Fox Sports News Sports Break.
Hi, I'm Chris Myers of Fox Sports News for this sports break. Wade Boggs announced his retirement and accepted a front office position with Tampa Bay. He logged his 3,000th career hit this past August. And the Red Sox, Jimmy Williams was voted American League Manager of the Year. Williams receiving 20 first-place votes. News scores and highlights nightly on Fox Sports News, right here on Fox Sports Net.
Want to see a neat trick? All I do is push a button, and we have a whole new Ford Windstar. You can get dual remote sliding rear doors, new side impact airbags, and even a rear bumper that tells you how close you are.
The Windstar is just one of the reasons you'll want to visit your Ford dealer, especially now with all these great deals he's got on the 99s.
A woman had to have thought this up.
Welcome back to the game of the week on Fox Sports Net 2. It's Mayfair and La Mirada, both teams undefeated in league, 6-0. And this is the last week of the regular season. This is for the Suburban League Championship. Mayfair got out first. Terrence Young, a 34-yard touchdown run. And that's where we stand. 4:09 to play in the first quarter. Mayfair in the blue. Pass over the head of Joe Hunter, incomplete.
That'll force Mayfair's first punting situation.
Drew Gonzalez talking to Joe Hunter. Somebody got confused because he threw it out and Hunter went in. JJ, when a quarterback looks at it, you were a receiver at SC and in the pros. When you come back to the huddle and you ran the wrong route, did you try to convince the quarterback you threw it in the wrong place?
Or you try to convince the quarterback it's somehow your fault, because as a receiver, there's no excuse to run the wrong route. And of course, from here, we can't tell where the miscommunication was. We just know there was miscommunication.
Bo Price is back deep for La Mirada. This ball going to land in front of him. He comes running up and takes it on the dead run. And he signaled fair catch, and a tackle was made, but they're going to let it go. Inadvertent. Now a flag. Yeah, got to give him a chance. 24 yards on the kick. A little bit short. Well, it's high school football tonight, but don't miss college football Saturday this week as Cincinnati takes on number 24 East Carolina. Texas Tech battles number 10 Texas, and then a Pac-10 matchup between the Wildcats of U of A and the Oregon State Beavers. How about OSU? They're 6-3. All the action starts at 12:30 on Fox Sports Net. But if you can't wait until mid-afternoon for your gridiron needs, then tune in to Fox Sports Net 2 as the day kicks off at 9:30 a.m. It's A&M and the Missouri Tigers, and then the nightcapper for the day, Fresno State and the Rainbows of Hawaii. It's all Saturday on Fox Sports Net and Fox Sports Net 2. June Jones and the Rainbows. Rainbow Warriors going to a bowl, JJ?
They're going to a bowl, Oregon State. The turnaround in Washington this year has been just a topsy-turvy Pac-10.
Oh, it's been great. We got to talk about that a little bit more. And out to Chris Rudiger. And Rudiger says, I can dish it out and I can take it too. Josh Hulling said the guy laying the leather.
Well, that time Rudiger was lone back in the backfield. Off tackle, really just trying to power the ball and massage that defensive front for Mayfair. One interesting note tonight, Jim, to keep an eye on. La Mirada has one player that plays both ways, and that is Chris Rudiger. For Mayfair, they have 5. So as the game wears on, Mayfair might tend to tire a little bit faster.
Again, they go back up the middle.
Looks like Terrence Young in on that tackle, filling in from his inside linebacker position. A chance to see him shoot the gap, and does a nice job of scraping into that hole and does a nice job of cutting down the big back at his knees. That's how you get those big backs down. You don't try to challenge them up top. You go down low and take their knees out. Something I used to do for my defensive back position in high school, Jim.
Are we going back that far already? It's only the first quarter. Don't take me back to the glory days of Ahmad. From the shotgun for the first time, Cox, good protection. Now it breaks down. Kennett has already come up with a couple of big hits.
Coming into the game, Alan Kennett was the leading tackler for Mayfair. Remember, he's a nose guard. Nose guards don't often lead your team in tackles, but you're getting a chance to see why. He's too strong and too quick to be single team. LaMorada's got to make the adjustment, double team Kennett in the middle. They've got to control that nose. He's dominating the defensive side of the ball for Mayfair.
His 17th sack of the year, tops on the team. Mike Williams, no, it wasn't Williams, but instead,
it's like
Mike Bragg. Yeah, it was Mike Bragg, number 2, not number 3. 28 yards on the kick, a -1 on the return. A kind of a strange return. He just stood there for a second and then tried to step away. Well, we talked about high school and college. How about the pros? We got you covered. Be sure to tune in to NFL This Morning, 8 o'clock. That's 8 a.m., JJ. Fox Sports Net as they bring the early news, injury updates, also preview every single game for the entire day. Be sure to tune in. NFL This Morning, 8 o'clock on Sunday. Your host, Chris Myers, and an all-pro cast of Jackie Slater, Marv Levy, Chris Spielman. It's NFL This Morning. It all starts at 8 o'clock on Fox Sports Net. Mayfair back to the ground attack, back to Mike Williams. And Mike Williams needs one tackle, and he may be gone. Mike Williams, nobody's going to catch him. Forget about it. Touchdown, Mayfair.
Well, you're getting a chance to see why everybody rants and raves about Mike Williams. They go right side this time. He does a nice job of bouncing to the outside, but watch the move on the free safety right there. Just the arm tackle, you can forget it. You're not going to tackle with the arm tackle. Mike Williams to the house. Boy, is he something special.
84 yards. And the real number that everybody's looking at here is that 14 on the board. Oh, yeah. When you're that good, JJ, you don't even have to wipe off your own sweat. They have a guy that does that for you.
Well, give credit to his offensive line up front. They're opening nice holes for him. Caskey and Kennett, that right side, opened up a huge hole. And if you get Mike into the secondary, he's very dangerous because he has the power and the speed, a rare combination. As you see, once he breaks that arm tackle, he's into the secondary. You're not going to catch him. They list him at 5'11", 170. Standing next to him, there's no doubt that he's 6 feet, 190. This is a big kid.
Arizona State, Michigan, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Colorado, they're all sending him love letters. And you can see why. We waited 2 years to see this guy in action, and now you understand what everybody's been raving about. He's impressive.
Already with over 100 yards on the night. Mayfair knew that LaMorada knew they needed to find a way to contain him. 100 yards in the first quarter is not going to get it done.
Radslav is back, but Mark Kennedy on the field again to kick off. LaMorada, last time they had the ball, had moved it all the way down to the goal line before they coughed it up on a touchback. So we know that their offense can move against the Mayfair defense. Kick goes out of bounds, that's a penalty. In high school, you can get it at the 35 if you'd like. And Al Dean, the white hat tonight, making the call.
And Jim, anytime you're in big games like this, you expect to have some type of strategy to your game. John Mele's strategy has already been forced to change. Now he's down by 14, and he's already trying to figure a way to come back. He has to be just shocked the way that Mayfair has come out and jumped out on top of his Matadors so fast. Of course, they had the nice drive.
Yeah, but defensively, La Mirada has done nothing so far.
Yeah, they need to find a way to stop him. They countered that with an 8-man front on the last drive, but you see if you can get Mike Williams into the secondary, he's very dangerous.
They give it to the sophomore, Vaca, and I think that's a good play because, remember, he just fumbled the last time he had it, so you give it back to him. Let's go down to Keith Owens on the sideline.
Thanks a lot, Jimmy. We've seen on the Mayfair defensive side of the ball their penetration at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. The guys get down low, and a reason that might be is because a lot of these guys are wrestlers. In fact, it's something that Mike Fitch encourages. Now, 4 guys are on the team: Alan Kennett, Marcus Riley, Josh Hollingshead, and Terrence Young. In fact, Kennett is the CIF champ, and he busted through for a sack on that last defensive series. They know a lot about getting low, balance, and strength with that wrestling background, and it's helped them so far here tonight. Jimmy, back to you.
Yeah, it's a good point, Keith. You can actually see that wrestling translate to the football field. Rudiger busts off a tackle, busts off a second one, and fights for a first down for La Mirada. Well, it starts with the small efforts.
Oh, but you see Chris Rudiger really show you how the passion he brings to this game. Very physical, pounding fullback. Does a nice job of cutting back against the grain, but Jim, watch right here the balance. He gets his legs taken out. The balance by the big fella, runs over another guy and picks up a first down. Great run by Rudiger.
10 yards and a fresh set of downs. Time ticking down in the first quarter. We're at Bellflower High School. It's La Mirada in the yellow and white and the navy blue and whites. The Mayfair Monsoons. Both teams undefeated in league. This is for your league title. Mayfair on top 14-0. Cox throws out the flat. Got a man. It's Bo Price. Price comes back towards the middle and picks up a couple.
Bo Price, the leading receiver on this La Mirada team, comes into tonight 32 catches, 465 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Had a big week last week against Cerritos. 3 catches last week for a touchdown.
Well, they ought to let him stand in the front row in the huddle, JJ. He's only 5'5".
Yeah, Bo is the smallest guy on this La Mirada team.
You know what he says in the huddle all the time?
No.
What'd he say? Yeah, you see, I used to be the small guy in the huddle, so I know all of those lines.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, well, it's no laughing matter for La Mirada after 12 minutes. They trail 14-0.
This is my house. I occupy the zone between the rim and the sky. Make plans for dinner, because I'm going to eat your lunch. Cream always rises.
Introducing the first basketball shoe to contain helium from Converse.
There are lots of fun ways to spend your time in California, and one fun way to spend your money. Like on a rugged and refined 2-wheel drive Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. Now with a great $0 $329 a month lease with only $329 due at signing. So if you want to spend time having fun, spend some time at
At Superior Bank, we help homeowners. That's what we do. And we've been busy helping homeowners in all kinds of credit and income situations for over 75 years. Consolidating your high-interest credit card debt. Reducing the number of your monthly payments to just one. And getting you the cash you need when you need it. Working with you. Simply, easily, and honestly. That's Superior Bank at 1-888-678-7777.
Who's a good boy? Sparky's a good boy. I have a treat for you. There you go. You want to go to the park? My Sparky loves to run. You want to go bye-bye? Let's go to the park.
This opening weekend, watch and wager on the best thoroughbred racing from Hollywood Park at your local satellite wagering facility. For info, call 310-419-1500 or log on to hollywoodpark.com.
Go, baby, go!
962-7333.
First round coverage of the Shark Shootout, Friday at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on Fox Sports Net.
Now, if you wanted a ticket to this one and he just showed up, you might have to climb over the fence because it's sold out. 6,000 people at Bellflower High School, and they're still trying to find their seats. It is 14-0 after 1 quarter. La Mirada in the yellow trails, and Chris Cox is trying to change all that. Second down and 5, and Cox to throw. Out to his left, and he's never going to get rid of it. Is that Kennett again? Kennett now with 18 sacks. He's got 2 in the game.
You don't need to ask who it was that far in the backfield.
How's he getting in there so fast? How does that happen?
Well, he's doing a great job of shedding the blockers. He's getting one-on-one blocking on him, and you just can't stop him with one-on-one blocking. Kennett does a nice job of getting rid of, had to be Stout the center, gets into the backfield and sacks Cox.
And remember what Keith Owens told us, he's an all-CIF, he won CIF as a wrestler. And you can see as he powered into the quarterback, he put a wrestling hold on him and threw him straight back, drove through the man.
And Jim, it's just amazing how he has 18 sacks from his nose guard position on the season.
Now it changes things. Third and very long. Cox will try to hand off, and again in the backfield. Jesse Cox that time. So if you pay attention to Kennett, then somebody else will get you.
Yeah, they come in waves. Jesse Cox, the backup linebacker that time, did a nice job of shooting the gap behind the offensive lineman. Another tackle in the backfield, and La Mirada's offense is just stagnant right now. They can't get anything going.
Nate Oratel to punt it away for La Mirada. Back to Bragg. Drops it. A bounce pass to himself. And nowhere to run. Now, Mayfair has not done a good job on punt returns. Williams fumbled one. Bragg drops this one, 31 yards on the kick, just 2 yards on the return. And it was Joe Hunter on the return.
Yeah, but in either case, they're not doing a good job of securing the punts. And that has to be one thing on Coach Mike Fitz's mind right now. He has to get some ball security on punt returns. That's really been the only flaw of their game so far.
I wish I was having that kind of night.
He is having a good night as long as Mayfair, La Mirada doesn't punt too often.
Well, Mayfair's had the ball twice, scored twice, and out to Mike Williams, who's hitting the backfield. Now, that's what we saw early on. They were getting to him. Josh Rangel.
Yeah, and the adjustment has been made. Ken Brooks, a defensive coordinator, obviously has to find a way to try to contain Mike Williams, and he does it with an 8-man front. That time, 8 men in the box, allows Rangel from his defensive tackle position to be single-teamed, and then he's able to shoot the gap and make the tackle. Big Josh Rangel.
All league last year. Yeah, big. 6 feet, 250.
37 tackles on the season, is third on his team, so some nice production from the defensive front of La Mirada.
And you can see that Mayfair a huge advantage in total yards, 176 to 13, I think is what it said. Williams tripped up after a couple of yards. It'll be third down, close to 10.
And I think that has to remain the game plan for La Mirada. They need to put 8 guys in the box on first and second down at least to try to contain Mike Williams. If they don't, he's going to be able to get to the secondary, and once he's in the secondary, it's very difficult to bring down. So I like the defensive adjustment by Ken Brooks. Of course, now it's Woody Grayson, the offensive coordinator for Mayfair's turn to counter that and maybe go back to the short passing game that they established in the first drive.
Third down and 9 now for Drew Gonzalez and the Mayfair offense. Gonzalez hands off on the deep handoff. Again, Williams nowhere to go. Well, it seems all or nothing for Williams.
And we don't have to ask who it is in the middle making that tackle. Rudiger once again. He's going to shoot the gap from his linebacker position. You see him right there, Jim. Perfect form tackle. Helmet into the chest. That is how you can contain Mike Williams. You have to be sure on the tackles. Arm tackles are not going to bring him down. Chris Rudiger does a nice job right there. Another note, remember Rudiger only a junior, so he'll be back next year.
Full price back for La Mirada. Whistles before this one's kicked away. And a flag. And remember, it's 4th and very long, so if this is against the defense, it shouldn't lead to a first down. Aldine will sort it out for us.
Illegal substitution, it looks like. Remember, you cannot have 12 players on the field at any one time. That is what they'll catch La Mirada, so it'll be a 5-yard infraction. And 4th down again.
Yeah, it's not going to change anything. Kennedy will still stay on and punt to Price. Token pressure and a good kick, much better than the last time. Price backs up to his 26 and ends up at his 21. And a flag on the tackle.
Well, Mike Bragg does a nice job of running him down.
Now 38 on the kick, -4 on the return, but let's hold on. It is a face mask, and so that'll change things. It was Bragg, the first guy there, but he got a little too much Bo Price.
Now remember, Bo Price has great speed, and he's going to try to get outside. You see the face mask right there.
And a good call, but yeah, the guy's only 5'5". Normally that would be shoulder pads.
Right. Mike Bragg, I guess, gets a excuse for that face mask call, but one thing Bo Price cannot do is go backwards on the punt return. That time, good coverage by Mayfair down the field. Mayfair has a lot of team speed themselves, so Bo Price needs to get positive yardage.
So instead of having the ball at the 21, they have it all the way out at the 36. Cox will keep it. And Hunter runs him out of bounds at the 45, and a flag. So apparently after he, they didn't tackle him, JJ, so I didn't think there was going to be any flag, but there might have been some pushing and shoving over the stripe.
You're exactly right, Jim. A personal foul we called against Mayfair. So 2 big penalties, and that's 30 yards in penalties. It's going to cost him field position. They've been running all night, so that time the play fake to Junior Vaca is going to allow Cox to get to the outside and around the corner.
There's the push.
The extra push out of bounds, what the referee saw.
And Jesse Cox with a late shove. And you can imagine Mike Fitch. And he was already frustrated after the face mask on Bragg. And now he gets another one, so they're just helping La Mirada. Now the ball's already down to the Mayfair 40-yard line. So 4 penalties against Mayfair for 50 yards. We're still in the first half. They give it to Rudiger. First guy through a couple of yards. Kennan, another tackle for Mayfair. Now, this guy is great.
Yeah, Kennan has been all over the field tonight. Terrence Young has also been doing his part, number 35.
Now, Kennan, besides all those tackles, JG, he's also recovered 5 fumbles. Most of those have been caused by Marcus Riley, number 1, the defensive end. He's caused 5. And imagine that Kennett's just standing around waiting to smother it.
One thing you know is with him leading the team in tackles,
he's not standing around. Yeah.
He's not going to be far from the ball.
The sizzling shrimp. Now, at the shockingly low price of just $6.99. 5 sizzling platters, just $6.99. Right now at Sizzler.
Back on the game of the week, Fox Sports Net 2. La Mirada and Mayfair and the Monsoons on top 14-0. Jim Watson, John Jackson, Keith Owens down on the sideline. 7:14 to play in the half. La Mirada faced with a 2nd down and 8 in front of 6,000 people. Chris Cox, the La Mirada quarterback, sharing a name with Chris Cox, the creator of the X-Files. Went to Bellflower High School. Chris Cox has a nightmare, and he's wearing number 40. Kennan, his 3rd sack of the night, 19 on the year. Hey, have a night, why don't you, 40?
He is doing everything for Mayfair in the early going. I just don't understand why La Mirada won't commit 2 offensive linemen to him. They're going to have to double team him. There's no 2 ways about it. They need to double team Kennan. He's in the middle, and he is causing all kinds of problems.
Mealy's trying to figure those problems out. He saw the palms turn up. He's talking upstairs to his offensive coordinator. He says, I don't know how to keep him out of there. He's so quick. 3rd and very long again from the shotgun. And here comes Mayfair. Trying to get up the gut. Incomplete. Down at the 20-yard line. Craig Garcia on the coverage for Mayfair.
Yeah, and I think Cox wish he had this throwback. He actually had Garcia down the field. The offensive line does a nice job, as you see, of picking up the blitz. That ball just a tad behind him, and if he could have had another shot at it, I know he would have put a little bit of air on that ball and laid it right out to the receiver.
Yeah, Ortega looked like he was going to make a catch. Garcia knocked it away, turned his head back at the last minute. Sign of a good defensive back. This ball rolls inside the 10, inside the 5-yard line. That's going to turn out to be a great punt. Nate Oratel, 42 yards, and then it just dies at the 4-yard line. Well, don't miss football news weeknights at 6 o'clock on Fox Sports Net. Catch up on all the news and highlights from the pro, college, and of course, even the high school level. We'll give you in-depth analysis and reports on all your favorite teams. It's football news weeknights at 6 on Fox Sports Net. You can talk football all week, couldn't we, JJ?
And we get a big dose of it on the weekend. And for Mike Fitch, he's getting a big dose of it tonight. His team has played well to this point.
Why does he look so unhappy?
Well, it might be because of that haircut. One thing I have to talk about, that haircut. I have to explain that haircut after this play.
JJ. And I just say that so Coach knows it was you who said it.
Well, one thing about Mike Fitch, the team needed a win, and they rallied around getting a win in the Bellflower game. So Mike Fitch went skin to win. That haircut, it was actually bald, is starting to come back now. I actually was on Mayfair's campus, had a chance to visit with Mike Williams, and he had a full head of hair. I come back, and now he has the stubble growing back in slowly, but they went skin to win, and the coach went bald for the Bellflower game, so that's why he might be a little upset.
Skin to win. 5.5 to play in the first half, and Mayfair back near their own goal line after a great punt. And Mike Williams and a good kick-out block. Williams avoids one guy out across 15-yard line for a first down. What kick-out block that was.
Oh, man, his line is opening holes. But Mike Williams is making things happen. That time, he must have shook 3 or 4 people in the hole. Isolation on Williams, and watch him in between the tackles, Jim. Those are the yards that are so valuable, making people miss when you're in between. Very tough to see. Only running backs with great vision have that ability. Mike Williams has that ability.
And we've seen a lot of great backs this year already. And when this thing's over, JJ, I'm going to ask you to put him in that order somewhere. Back to Mike Williams. Just a couple that time on first down.
Well, Mayfair is going to continue to pound the ball despite the 8-man front that La Mirada is putting up. Williams' numbers on the night. We talked about he was down a little bit in the first quarter at 6.2 average. Now he's up to 9.7. Of course, the big run doesn't hurt.
Last week, 25 carries, 201 yards, and 7 touchdowns in that football game to set a school record. You figure he's going to have most of them by the time he leaves. Second 7 as Williams goes out. Kennett is in and has the football. Yeah, a little different run in that direction, isn't there?
Right, well, Alec Kennett is the backup fullback. He backs up Terrence Young. So when Mike Williams takes a rest, he gets a chance to get in there and pick up a carry. I guess he deserves it. He's doing everything on defense. You might as well let him get the ball on offense.
Give him the rock.
You see he's a load, but La Mirada does a nice job that time of gang tackling.
Tony Russo, who's filling in for Nick D'Amico, the outside linebacker spot with the tackle. D'Amico has separated collarbone last week, so Russo gets the call, but Russo's played a lot this year.
And Jim, and all, looking back at it, I'm pleased with the La Mirada adjustments. They come out in the first quarter, the first drive, and Mayfair goes right down the field on them. So then, of course, you need to make some adjustments. Ken Brooks, John Maley have done that. They made the adjustments. Mike Williams breaks the long run, but really that was because of missed tackling, not because of defensive adjustments. They've made the adjustment. They have the scheme to control Mike Williams in this running game, but of course the players have to execute.
Mike Williams is back in there with Terrence Young in front of him. They each have a touchdown. It's Mike Williams busting across the 20 out near the 25. If they get across the 26, it'd be a first down, and the Monsoon fans are already applauding. They say move the chains, don't even look. First down, Mayfair. Oh, they've been spoiled with number 3, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah, you can just tell that Woody Grayson knows how special this back is on third and long situations. An obvious passing down for most teams. Not for Mayfair. They go Williams off left tackle. That's the spot they've gone all night long.
Is he talking to himself, JJ? Because there's nobody back there but him.
Yeah, he might be getting a little extra motivation. Not that he needs that. He's running well right now.
They play action to Williams this time. Gonzalez, pressure. Gonzalez on the run. Gonzalez all the way down the sideline, then steps out of bounds and gets collared. As he does, no flag. The Mayfair fans want one, but they get a big gain anyway. Out across the 45-yard line and another first down. A great effort by Drew Gonzalez, 18 yards.
Yeah, Gonzalez does a nice job of first recognizing the rush.
Watch the linemen pick up guys. Once they see their quarterbacks on the run, they're going to protect the 5'10 junior.
Right, but
right here, guys start picking people up.
But you saw Rudiger right there. He's the one that came free, that flushed him out of the pocket. Drew Gonzalez noticed that, able to elude the rush and pick up a nice positive gain.
And Vince Fuela had two hands full of Gonzalez's jersey and couldn't grab him from behind. It's a first down at the 45. And that clock continues to tick. Now to keep La Mirada off the board in the first half, I think would be very big. Williams stumbles, and I think is going to lose about a half a yard.
Yeah, again, the defensive penetration there for La Mirada. But Drew Gonzalez, we'll see Fuela actually come behind the line of scrimmage. Now, if you can single team Fuela, you're going to have problems too. He's the leader of the defense for La Mirada. He leads the team in tackles, 60 on the year, and he is a load, 6'2", 280 pounds.
And he's not happy right now either. Mayfair is moving that football again. A little movement, that'll be 5 more. And Gonzalez doing a good job with the snap count, JJ. He drew him off.
Yeah, give Gonzalez credit. Not only does he change the snap count, but he changes the fluctuations in his voice. That time, the extra hut actually got them to draw the defense offsides to pick up 5 yards for his team, and that's just a nice job of quarterbacking by Drew Gonzalez.
Gonzalez, of course, who backed up Mike Harrison here last year. Harrison was a star, went on to Hawaii. Now Drew Gonzalez quietly has done a very efficient job with this offense. About 53, 54% passing, 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I always look at that ratio, JJ, because it shows accuracy and it shows decision-making.
That's right. A lot of times, with the talent he has around him, he doesn't have to win games. He just can't lose them.
Again, he fakes to Williams. He's going downfield to the tight end, and this ball is intercepted. It looks like Shavers, and some talk after the play, but Shavers went up and over the tight end to make the grab.
And Jim, that is an outstanding play by Greg Shavers. Just what La Mirada needed. They've been on their heels the entire first half. They need somebody to step up and make a big play, and Shavers, that is a nice interception. Not only does he put himself in position, he doesn't commit to pass interference, goes right over the top and catches the ball at his highest point. Greg Shavers.
Yeah, that was a great play. Nice athleticism. Second turnover for Mayfair. La Mirada gets it back with $1:46 to play.
NBA on TNT and TBS Superstation. 29 teams, one dream. Over 80 games, one mission. Over 300 players, one obsession. One goal, one reason to play the game. The NBA on TNT and TBS Superstation.
Sponsored locally by Fix Auto, the new generation of body shops. Call 1-800-INFO-FIX.
This is Los Angeles.
This is the place for great weather.
But when it's not so great, this is the place you turn. Come rain, wind, snow, or just the occasional sprinkle. This is the place for a team of weather specialists, tracking the weather 24 hours a day. Because when weather becomes news,
we're committed to bringing you through the storm.
No matter what Mother Nature brings.
This is the most trusted team in weather. This is Eyewitness News.
You can't do better than real.
Well, any time that your team is on its heels and struggling in the first half. You need somebody to step up and make a big play. Greg Shavers does just that. He goes up high, catches the ball at his highest point. You can't teach it any better. Greg Shavers, big play. Hopefully, the one play that will be the momentum swing for La Mirada.
Inside Bellflower High School on the game of the week. La Mirada in the yellow, down 14 to Mayfair. This is for the Suburban League Championship. Mayfair in the blue, ranked number 1 in the division. La Mirada is ranked number 3. Newport Harbor is the number 2 team. Pass across the middle is caught. It's Bo Price, and he's going to go. Price has nobody near him. And the 5'5" kid is taking it to the house, and La Mirada's on the board. 77 yards.
You talk about big plays, changing the momentum, and it did just that. Right away, La Mirada able to capitalize. Cox to Price. They come out throwing the ball right out of the chutes. Price, big play, big touchdown. Momentum plays such a big part in all of football.
6th touchdown on the year for Bo Price. 5'5", 135, but plenty to carry at 77 yards. Sam Orr now on for the extra point. And just like that, La Mirada is right back in this one. JJ, he gets a seam, and he gets no trouble after that.
And Jim, in the play is there's man coverage behind. Remember that Mayfair is committed to stopping the run, so they're going to have man coverage in the secondary. Bo Price able to take advantage of it on a slant, and then he just splits the seam. The great speed, the 10-600. You're not going to catch Bo Price, and of course, the reaction.
And Chris Cox says, finally. That's his 8th touchdown toss of the year. You know, Joe Hunter made a shot at it early. Defensive back for Mayfair. He took his shot, missed the tackle. And there was no help.
Right, and you know, this game has been made up of big plays. Of course, that one by Price. Vaca had a big run that would have been a touchdown, or at least down to the 1-yard line. It was fumbled away. And of course, Mike Williams has had big plays on the Mayfair side. So big time games, big plays are going to be made and will make the difference in these games. We talked about the top. Your best players have to play well. Williams and Rudiger have done just that, but it, of course, is very important for the supporting cast. Shavers and Price are doing that for La Mirada.
Yeah, they'll kick it into the end zone, and Williams won't even bother catching it because you can't run it out in high school anyway. 1:35 to play in the first half, and I made a comment when Mayfair had the ball with about 2.5 minutes left, and I said that Mike Fitch and the Monsoons would love to go in 14-0, because that 0 would mean an awful lot to their team, especially the defense at halftime.
Yeah, and because you remember, La Mirada is a very explosive offense. So if they could have shut them out in the first half, that would have done wonders for their confidence and forced La Mirada to fight an uphill struggle. Now that they've closed the gap to 7 points, it's only a touchdown. Really, it's just like starting over.
Oh yeah.
It's going to take the momentum into the locker room for La Mirada. John Maley can rally his troops. Of course, they still have to stop Mike Williams now.
And you got to start holding on to that football now, because now it's just a one-play game. There's Williams, 2 hands on the football, and he's got some space. But wait, there's a flag behind him. So hold on. Williams, another big run. That one may only show up on his highlight reel. And that highlight reel's got to be about 40 minutes now. Just run after run.
It is long. But Jim,
it was a 32-yard run, but I think Aldean's going to bring it back, and he will.
And Jim, I just can't believe that Mayfair can continue to go over that left side. Johnson, Bender, and Bridges. Johnson, the left tackle. They're clearing folks out on that left side. Mayfair continues to go over that left side and pick up big games every time they do.
And Williams, the long walk back.
Well, this play is going to be called back for holding. You'll get a chance to see it right there in the middle of your screen. Looks like it's going to be Marcus Johnson, the big left tackle, with his hand on the back of Rudiger. Got to try to slow down the big linebacker. He's making a lot of plays.
Only holding if you get caught, right, JJ?
That's right.
And in the meantime, Mayfair calls the timeout, so apparently they're not done in this first half. Yeah, they were being very conservative with 2.5, with 2:15 to go, but after that quick strike by Bo Price, makes it 14-7. Now Mayfair maybe wants to rethink this and say, hey, we can get another touchdown too. And you can see that seems to be the conversation going on in the huddle right now. Terrence Young talking to his offensive line. Now don't run off, because coming up at the break, we'll let you see and hear from Mike Williams. We've been waiting 2 years to see this guy, and he's given us an eyeful in the first 24 minutes. And we'll talk about all the big commitments out of Southern California, up and down the coast, and of course, first half numbers and tape. I know what that guy will be doing at halftime. Yelling. He's starting early.
Well, his team has totally dominated this first half, except for that big play to Price. So he has to be pleased that his team is playing well, but then going in 14-7 does not reflect how well his team has played here in this first half.
What do you do, JJ? Because you know Mealy wants the football back, but if you're Fitch and Mayfair, do you sit on it? You take it in?
Well, right now they can continue to find ways to get Mike Williams the ball, and although that might be termed sitting on it, he's able to make big plays and might break one loose, so I would look for Williams here.
That's why you get the big money, JJ. And they looked for Williams, and they punished him for taking it. Fuella on the tackle.
Well, I also didn't say that Ken Brooks, the defensive coordinator, would agree with me also, and he'd be looking for Williams. Fuella right there to make the play.
La Mirada's going to call a timeout because they want the football back.
You know, Jim, in fairness to La Mirada here in the first half, Mayfair's really jumped out on top of them and dominated the line of scrimmage. But one thing, when you go into a big game like this, you try to game plan, and when you go in, if the first half of things don't work the way that you scripted them, you might have to make some adjustments at halftime. Really, the halftime adjustments will show how both of these coaches, it will reflect the skill in both of these coaches. If they can make the adjustment at halftime, and we'll see what they do here in the second half.
Well, we've had a lot of action, but it's only second down, and La Mirada still with a timeout left. Now, to get a first down, Mayfair has to go across the 30-yard line.
Well, you don't think that John Melee recognizes that the momentum is on his side. In the first half, Mayfair's been able to do pretty much what they've wanted to do, but now that he feels that the momentum has shifted in his favor, he's going to use those timeouts and try to get some good field position and come back with another big play.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, Mayfair now looks a little conservative. They look a little apprehensive. And La Mirada's defense up on their toes. Williams, not much. Walker in on the tackle. Rudiger in on the tackle, but you can say that almost every time. And La Mirada burns another timeout. Tony Russo in on another tackle, and we keep mentioning that he's a sub tonight at linebacker, but he's played a lot of time, and he's gotten in, he's done a good job. College football Saturday coming your way as Cincinnati takes on number 24 East Carolina. Then Texas Tech battles Texas in a Lone Star showdown. Pac-10 matchup between the Arizona Wildcats and the Oregon State Beavers. Dennis Erickson says it's time to celebrate in Corvallis because they have their first winning program since 1970. All the action starting at 12:30 on Fox Sports Net. Of course, a couple other games on Fox Sports Net too, starting at 9:30. A&M in Missouri, and of course Fresno State and Hawaii.
Yeah, Coach Erickson with a guaranteed winning season. He still has 2 games to play, 6-3 on the year. Big year for the Oregon State Beavers.
Mike Williams stands in the Mayfair huddle, and he says, you know, you don't have to give it to me every time, especially when they know it's coming.
Well, teams all year have known that Mike Williams is going to carry the ball and been unable to stop him. I'll tell you the one adjustment, though, for La Mirada going into the half, if I were the coach, you need to move Vince Fuella, the big defensive lineman, their stud on the defensive line, to the right side, to the defense's right side, which would be Mayfair's left side. Because if they're going to continue to go over that left side, you have to make some adjustments, and I would put my best player on that side.
He's on that side right now. And they blow it out. Terrence Young spins across the 25, maybe to the 28-yard line. They need to get to the 31. He did not go out of bounds. The clock will run. He has chalk on his arm, but I guess he didn't go out of bounds.
Well, this is a big play.
And it's short. Yeah, I must mention that. It is short. It'll be 4th and 1, and so Mayfair's going to kick it, and that's the smart play. But JJ, how does Terrence Young get chalk on his arm and not go out of bounds unless he rolled after the tackle?
Yeah, they must have claimed that his momentum was stopped before he actually physically went out of bounds. That would keep the clock running, but that was a questionable call, Jim. I think that might have been out of bounds, and the clock, of course, would have stopped.
Well, here's another strange call. Mayfair now, because of the confusion, has to call a timeout, which actually just aids La Mirada.
Well, the one thing for Mayfair, they didn't want to get hit with the delay of game, which would, of course, move the ball back 5 more yards. But I think in that situation, one player needs to go to the official that is keeping track of the 25-second clock. Of course, there is not a 25-second clock in the end zone in high school football, but an official keeps track of it and wait till that runs down and then call the timeout. I think that they had maybe 10 or 15 more seconds to buy, which, of course, made it a little bit more difficult when La Mirada gets possession.
Yeah, or take the 5 yards. You know, I want that clock to continue to run.
5 yards not near as important as the time on the clock at this point.
Let's go down to Keith Owens on the sideline.
Thanks a lot, Jimmy. You know, there's been a strange turn of events here on the La Mirada sideline. You know, these guys were down. They were hanging their heads down 14-0. They were thoroughly getting dominated in the trenches. And then, boom, Bo Price strikes with that big play. It's been a huge turn of events. Their emotion is back up. The morale is up. There's life and pep in the guy's steps. And that was a huge play for the La Mirada ball club. Jimmy?
Yeah, Keith, you can see a change on their faces. You can see a change in the way they played. 4th down and 1, and they go for it. Mayfair. And I think they get the first down. And JJ, that is just a strange call, but a gutsy move.
Oh, boy. Well, when you have Mike Williams in the backfield, you think that he can do almost anything. But you're right, Jim. That is a very, very risky call. At your own 29, you go for it on 4th down. If La Mirada could have come up with a stop, you'd have virtually put them on the doorstep. I no doubt in that situation would have punt and forced them to go some distance.
Well, they go that left side with the three-year starters. Williams drops the head and just fires across. They had to get near the 31. He got the 31, and you can see where the football is, about a foot. And now they'll just take a knee and end the first half. But I'll tell you what, that's gambling.
That is gambling.
Now the big guy rolls the 7. Mike Fitch, he'll check his watch, and right now, his team leads 14-7. He knows they got a whole nother half, and they got some adjustments to make because this game turned around a lot after the first. Well, they were dominating through the first 10 minutes.
Right. Well, momentum plays such a big part in football games, and Mayfair definitely had that through a quarter and a half. Of course, the nice interception by Shavers. The big play, Cox to Price.
Now this was it right here. Head 14-0, and La Mirada goes to Bo Price. Joe Hunter misses the tackle, and Price is gone. 77 yards, and it changed the game.
Well, La Mirada has been pretty much on the ground in 1st and 2nd down. So Mayfair played man coverage behind it. Price runs a slant, makes a nice catch, and splits the seam for the touchdown.
Well, Bo Price, in a matter of 7 seconds, changes the complexion of this one. Keith Owens is standing by with head coach Mike Fitch of Mayfair right now.
Thanks a lot, Jim. I'm with Mike Fitch. You guys, you told me before the game that the battle in the trenches was going to be key, and you guys dominated it for a quarter and a half on both sides of the ball, but then one big play, they're right back in the ball game. Are you concerned with the way the first half is playing out?
No, I think we pretty much, we did a pretty good job on them. We let them back in the game with one play. They caught us in man-to-man, burned us. I haven't seen the film yet to see if Joe fell down or what, but they made a big play. We take our hats off to them. We get back, we go down, we find out in the second half what we can do. I mean, you've seen we've been audibilizing, running some opposites, and running right at them. I mean, we're not afraid of them, and we're just lining up and saying, let's play. You saw right there, 4th and 1. We're not afraid of those guys. We'll go for it anywhere on the field. Even on a 20, would we do it? Yeah, we'll do it.
All right, Coach. Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you very much.
Jimmy, back up to you.
All right, Keith, thank you very much. You got to love the attitude of Mike Fitch. We're not afraid of anybody. We show up. We came here not only play football, we come take home a Suburban League title. We'll come back, get a closer look at Michael Williams of Mayfair. He has 18 carries for 139 yards and a touch in the first half.
Hi, I'm Tony Gwynn of the San Diego Padres. On behalf of 24-Hour Team Sports, congratulations. As student athletes, your involvement in high school sports prepares you for success both on the field and off the field. 24-Hour Fitness supports your efforts by providing varsity high school athletes free access to any of their clubs and by donating millions of dollars worth of fitness equipment to your schools. Find out how you can participate.
If you were born in 1979, there was no DeVry campus in West Hills. 6 years later, still no DeVry in West Hills. Another 6 years later, same story. No DeVry in West Hills. Now, LA has a new DeVry campus in the San Fernando Valley at West Hills. So you'll be able to get a superior education. Trying to go straight to the top? Perfect timing. Call 1-800-DeVry-11 for a higher degree of success.
The Supercut? It's the my band goes on at 10. The I only date college guys. And no. The I hate to cover this with a football helmet. The E equals MC squared. Whatever you call it, we can cut it at a price that looks good too. Supercuts, as hip as you want to be.
My winning formula? First, I train. Then, I motivate. Fuel up. And dominate.
What's your winning formula? Log on to Gatorade.com now and tell us. Gatorade, is it in you?
Back on campus at Bellflower High School, but it's Mayfair and La Mirada tonight on the Game of the Week. Mayfair on top 14-7. It's the Suburban League Championship, and around here, that's about as big as it gets. Jim Watson along with John Jackson. First half, and we knew about him coming in, Mike Williams, 139 yards, and of course an electrifying touchdown run, 77 yards.
Right, well, your big players in big games have to play big, and Mike Williams has done just that. But the game really starts now. The chess match in the locker room. Both coaches have to make adjustments. That'll be the interesting part of the second half.
What are they saying in the locker room right now? If you're Mike Fitch, the Mayfair head coach, what are you saying to your guys? Because you dominated this game early, and then it's starting to slip away. At least that's what it looked like at the end of the half.
Right, well, I think you re-emphasize that fact. Your team has played well and has dominated throughout the first half. You need to get that back, and of course, momentum swings are big. La Mirada is riding that high, but it's going to be defensive adjustments for La Mirada is going to make the difference in the second half.
Of course, Mike Williams still has to finish a couple of high school football games, but he'll go and play Division I high school football. And over the past 3 years, right here on Fox Sports Net, we've shown you some of the best in Southern California. This is some of our alums. Carson Palmer, of course, is out for the year at USC, but Kareem Kelly is making a lot of numbers. Kyle Bowler is the starting quarterback at Cal. He's played himself into the position. Deshaun Foster has been plagued by injuries throughout his career in Westwood, and Mike McNair from Mater Dei High School, of course, is back in South Bend. Well, there are some big names this year. These guys will be playing D1 a year from now. Casey Clausen, the quarterback from Alameda.
Yeah, we had a chance to see Casey Clausen early in the season. The first game, 5 touchdowns that night. He did it every way. He had touch passes. He threw it deep. He threw it short. Right on the money. Casey Clausen, big-time play.
JJ, I got to tell you, the night we went out and saw Alameda and they were playing Wainimi, that was our kickoff classic. I looked at him in warm-ups, and he's not a big, I mean, he's tall, but he's skinny. And I thought, you know, I don't know if this kid has the tools. And about an hour and a half later, I was up there just shaking my head because he's very, very talented.
Right, he's very good. He's headed to Tennessee. They've come all the way from the East Coast out here to get him. They know how special he is. He'll have a big-time career at the college level. Might be looking for him in the pros.
And remember, after the game, he chased us across the field and said thank you, and he called us sir, so I like him right there. How about Zach Wasserman from Westlake? Of course, we've seen him. We saw him. He started as a sophomore, one of the best in Southern California.
And Zach has really grown over the years. He's really matured as a quarterback. He makes great decisions. He's a very strong-arm quarterback. He's headed to Penn State, where he'll get a chance to play for Joe Pa.
You know, he's not going to be asked to throw the ball an awful lot in Happy Valley. Is that a good choice for him, you think?
I think it is, because he needs an offense that's more of a balanced attack. He plays a wide-open Westlake attack now. He'll only benefit from when there's a balanced attack, something that'll offset the pass, leave him some openings in the secondary. He'll really be able to take advantage of that.
Remember, last year, Wasserman got to throw to his tight end, Mike Seidman, who's now at UCLA, another guy that you saw right here on our Game of the Week. Well, last week, we got to show you not one, but 2 great quarterbacks who are going to play college football. Brandon Hance from Taft, and what a night this guy had.
Yeah, Brandon Hance was impressive, not because of the pure skills that he had, but the way he got it done. He did it every way. He scrambled, he threw the ball deep, he threw it short, he showed nice touch on his ball, and of course, he's going to quarterback university, Purdue, where he'll be the next Drew Brees.
And of course, last week we also got to see the Chatsworth quarterback. Matt Castle was on his way to USC, and he's been playing behind an offensive line. He's had a lot of injuries this year, and he's done a great job, and they're looking forward to getting him down at SC a year from now. There's another kid playing in Southern California who want to highlight highlight here, a guy who plays linebacker and fullback, Pat Norton from Hart High School.
Yeah, Pat Norton is a mainstay on this Hart team, ranked 4th in the state, and he doubled as the fullback there, and of course, from his linebacker position. So Pat Norton has a bright future in front of him. He's headed across town to UCLA.
Man, there is no talent in Southern California, is there?
Oh, they're coming from everywhere. The problem is that local teams are having problems keeping these guys here. A lot of them going across the country. We see Tennessee, of course, Chris Ricks from Santa Margarita. Right. He's going to Florida State. So a lot of guys are going out of the state to play. A lot of talent, though, in Southern California.
Yeah, that's the difference. The last couple of years, they've been coming from all the way from the East Coast to steal the talent from Southern California. It's that good. We'll take another timeout. We'll come back, give you stats and highlights from the first 24 minutes as Mayfair leads 14-7 at the break. You're watching the game of the week, high school football on Fox Sports Net 2.
With AT&T Digital One Rate, this isn't just any phone. It's my Hey Rob, how's the powder in Utah phone. My I'll take red, no make that teal phone. My how are you doing in college phone. My can you deliver the piano on Tuesday phone. My Casey scored a gold phone.
The world of wireless has changed. AT&T Digital One Rate. No roaming or long-distance charges across all 50 states. And with rates so low, AT&T could make your wireless phone your only phone.
If you're ready to lose weight, muscle up, and get back into shape, I've got a free video you're going to love.
Introducing a winning fitness strategy.
You got to eat healthy, drink plenty of water, and most importantly, strength train with Bowflex.
Strength training adds muscle. Not only does your shape look better, you actually increase your metabolism, so you end up burning more calories.
Strength training these days isn't just for men. It's great for women, too. And Bowflex is designed for both. It's even been called the best home gym by Fitness Magazine.
Use as little as 5 pounds to more than 400 pounds of resistance. Follow our 6-week fast fat loss program or create your own from over 60 different health club quality exercises.
Bowflex is easy to own, and it fits in any room in your house. It comes with a 6-week guarantee on results, and you can finance it with no money down and payments as low as $33 per month. Hey, I'm 41, and I'm in the best shape of my life. And I can tell you, Bowflex really does work.
For a free video and brochure on the machine that can help you get into great shape at any age, call right now.
Who's a good boy? Sparky's a good boy. I have a treat for you. There you go. You want to go to the park? My Sparky loves to run. You want to go bye-bye? Let's go to the park.
Hollywood Park's Autumn Meet kicks off this Friday night with dollar beers, dollar hot dogs, dollar sodas, and the best thoroughbred racing in town. The party starts at 7 p.m. this Friday at Hollywood Park.
Go, baby, go!
Girl, you know that there's one thing that I love, but it's not you I'm thinking of. I want the ultimate cheeseburger. Cheese meat, and that's it. Baby, you know it's hot and juicy. This check won't make it till you want to.
Girls love this.
Our target is men.
What's a target?
Say you're going to miss your favorite TV show because you have to go out of town. Unexpectedly. With a single command, your show can be digitally recorded every time it's on. No tapes, no hassles. Introducing TiVo. It puts you in control. With TiVo, you run the show.
It seems like when you really need a massage, you can't have one. Well, hold on. Introducing VibraTouch, the amazing new personal massager that slips right on your finger. VibraTouch's microelectronics massages at an incredible 13,000 vibrations per minute. The competition only vibrates at 9,000. Watch how these grains of sand dance with delight as VibraTouch comes in contact. VibraTouch comes complete with 4 interchangeable massage heads. Use the smooth tip to relax delicate areas. The raised tip pinpoints problem areas. The small nubular head works great on individual muscles, and the big nubular head to soothe larger muscle groups.
Wow, VibraTouch is like getting 4 massagers in one, and it's only $19.99.
Call now, and we'll include this exclusive applicator head for lotions and creams. Call now and save $5. That's $14.99 for everything.
Order now, and you'll receive a free trial membership in Best Price USA, America's premier buying club.
To order VibraTouch for only $14.99 plus shipping, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-452-6777.
Back back at a sold-out Bellflower High School on the Game of the Week here on Fox Sports Net 2. Mayfair leads La Mirada 14-7 at the break. 6,000 people, and they're still on their feet. Jim Watson along with John Jackson, Keith Owens on the sideline. A pretty good first half, JJ, but it was all blue at the start. Terrence Young, the handoff, 34 yards.
Yeah, the big fella after the defense was keying on Mike Williams. He finds the seam, does a nice job getting the open field, and shows some nice speed.
And how about Mike Williams? You've heard about him for 2 years. This is our first eyeful. Takes a handoff and goes 84 yards. It shows a lot of moves and a lot of power.
Yeah, in the first half, he showed us why he is so special. Very talented Mike Williams. Big run, big touchdown.
Now, this is the play that changed the first half. Little Bo Price takes the ball on the slant. Joe Hunter misses the tackle, and forget about it. Now it's a one-touchdown game.
Well, I mean, he might be only 5'5", but he runs a 10-600. He used all of it there.
139 yards rushing for Mike Williams alone in the first half, and you can see that's given Mayfair a big advantage on the ground.
Yeah, and the key has been up front. As Coach Mealy talked about, Mayfair's been dominant, 210 yards on the ground rushing. La Mirada, they have to control the line of scrimmage. They need to rush the ball. Remember, that is the key for them tonight, to get those rushing yards up. 22 yards is not going to cut it in the second half.
Let's go down to Keith Owens on the sideline.
Thanks a lot, Jimmy. Here with Coach John Mealy. And you guys pretty much were dominated for the first quarter and a half, but you get one big play, you're back in it. How's your morale right now?
Well, we're trying to fire them up right now. We need to contain that number 3. He's an excellent runner, as you know. We had our breakdown there, and we fumbled in the end zone, and it could have been very easy, 14-14. But, hey, they've been controlling the game. We've got to play better defense. Offensive, we've got to mix it up, the run and the pass, and we should have a good second half.
What do you need to do differently to stop Mike Williams?
I don't know. We made a couple adjustments up front. You'll see some different alignments up front. But, hey, he's a good ball player, and we got to tackle better.
All right, Coach. Best of luck in the second half. Jimmy, back to you.
All right, Keith, thanks very much. Do you think he doesn't know Mike Williams' name, or does he just want to call him number 3 all night? You know Mike Fitch knows his name. He's going to be sorry to see him go, but he's going to get him for the other half of this game and then into the playoffs, because Mayfair is the number 1 seed in Division 6 right now. Remember, these teams were both Division 9 last year. La Mirada is the number 3 seed in that division. La Mirada returning the second half kickoff out to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, but Coach Mealy really touched on the keys to the second half. Defensive front for La Mirada has to be big. He said they would make some adjustments up front. Hopefully they'll be moving Fuela over to that left side so they can slow down the run of Mayfair to their favorite side, which is the left. But right now their offense gets an opportunity.
Great shot by the guys in the truck of Chris Cox when he threw that touchdown pass to Price. Remember, it wasn't so much a celebration as a finally. And you can see he has calmed down a little bit. Now he doesn't think he has to do it all himself. He hands off to Vaca. Junior Vaca, who's a sophomore. And, you know, remember, Vaca had that good run in the first half. He took it down to the goal line, fumbled the ball out of the end zone for a touchback. Since then, they've kind of gone away from him. Penalty against La Mirada, holding. Not a good way to start the second half. But what happened to Vaca? What happened to that attack?
Well, Jim, a lot of times La Mirada goes with that single back set, which, of course, will feature Chris Rudiger. Now, when they're in that single back set, of course, Vaca is out of the game. I would prefer to see them in a 2-back set, because then you have both of your weapons in the backfield and will allow Vaca, of course, to get his share of the carries. He's been very successful on the year so far. Averages about 7.5 yards a carry, so I'd like to see Vaca just get more touches.
So many penalties at the end of the first half to start the third here. Aldine has his own series now on Fox. Vaca with 5 carries, 35 yards in the first half. Go back to Rudiger on the ground.
Boy, Rudiger is very punishing in that middle, but Alan Kennett, the nose guard, has really just been stopping everything in between the tackles.
Jared Magalogo also in on the tackle there for Mayfair. And I knew you weren't gonna try that name. You left that one for me, thanks.
Well, now that you got Magalogo, I can sort of springboard off of that. 47 tackles for Kennett, and of course Magalogo, number 74. He has 40 on the year, so that defensive front, that's always a good sign. When you look across the stat sheet, if the leading tacklers on your defense are in that defensive front, you know it's going to be successful.
Cox to throw. Here comes the pressure. Not going to get rid of it. Never had a chance. Jesse Cox was in quick.
Jesse Cox, the inside linebacker. It's just going to be a blitz up the middle. They're going to send the backers and play man coverage behind it. They've been rolling the dice all night long. This time it pays dividends. Cox is going to come right through the gap, virtually untouched. You see Rudiger there and Chase. It must have been his assignment on the blitz pickup, but unable to come up with the block. Cox, another sack for Mayfair.
3rd down and 25 now. And this is just how Mayfair's defense and La Mirada's offense began the game. If you remember back, JJ, early on, you should take a look at the sacks. It's all Mayfair. And Kennett, I think, has 3 of them.
Right, this is a very dangerous situation for La Mirada. They can ill afford a turnover in their own end, and there's going to be a penalty. This most likely is going to be a delayed game, which will push them back 5 more.
How does this happen? A team comes out of the locker room. They get that late touchdown to get back in the game. They're all fired up. They run into the locker room. They come out, and they're in complete disarray. What's going on?
Well, you think the momentum would be on their side, and that has to be Coach Mealy's. A big problem with Coach Mealy here is that his team has come out so flat and not ready to play. Of course, penalties will always kill you. Remember, this La Mirada team, they want to grind the ball on the ground. They want to establish the line of scrimmage and punish people. In this drive alone, they've had a holding penalty that moved them back 10, and of course, a delayed game penalty that moved them back another 5.
Already 9 penalties combined, and we're just barely into the second half. Cox to throw on 3rd and very long. A penalty on Mayfair.
And this might be a big one. Pass interference.
Trammell, it might be Matt Douglas, I think. Matt Douglas, the strong safety. Pass interference.
Well, Cox is going to throw the out, and Douglas is going to get there. Well, the referee claims a little early.
Here we go, Chase.
Didn't look much like pass interference there. Looked like Douglas was in good position. But that's a big penalty, Jim, because it was 3rd and about 30. With the pass interference call, is going to give them an automatic 1st down. So that really bailed La Mirada out of a deep hole.
And I'll tell you, it's one of the few times you'll ever see this phenomenon during a football game. They moved the chains backwards and gave him a 1st down.
That's right.
And he should have just let him catch it and make the tackle. He knows that now. And off me. Stop him again. Vaca.
Yeah, sometimes, Jim, in big games, it's not the plays that you make, it's the plays that you don't make.
Kennett again.
Oh, well, that was a given. I knew it was going to be Kennett. Anytime they're running in between the tackles, you're going to call number 40's name.
Look at that.
And, Jim, that was just an arm tackle. Kennett,
One arm
tackle. Very strong upper body. It's becoming a broken record. We've been calling Kennett's name all night long.
He's a player.
And only a junior. He'll be back.
2nd and 9. Rudiger runs into Mike Williams out at the 30-yard line.
And Jim, this is a big-time collision. Rudiger goes 6'2", 225. Mike Williams is the only person between Rudiger and the goal line. Watch this play. Rudiger through the gap and a nice tackle. You see how Mike Williams stuck his head right in the chest of Rudiger, able to tackle him and bring him down. Great form tackle and a lot of courage by number 3.
College coaches like him in the defensive backfield. JJ could play on the other side of the ball at the next level, couldn't he?
Yeah, well, there's no doubt, and that's what a lot of colleges were telling him. They want him to play defense. He said he's having nothing of it.
Now everybody moves. This will be the 10th penalty of the game, or 11th now.
The referee's trying to decide who moved first.
Kennett's done everything else, and now he's going to make some decisions. Oh, he didn't look happy with that one.
Now I think this will go against the defense for encroachment. The officials are going to rule that the defensive lineman was in the neutral zone before the offensive lineman moved, and that'll cost the defense 5 yards, but more importantly, a 1st down for La Mirada.
Well, Fitch was hot before. He's white hot now. Fitch used to coach at Whittier High School as well for 10 years. Won 100 games there, 105. Vaca, some space. Douglas finally drags him down as he goes well across midfield.
That's right, and that big La Mirada front finally starting to get it done, opening up some big holes up front. Martinez and Fuela Vaca over the left side, and that's a huge hole, similar to the hole he had on the touchdown run. And once he's in the secondary, the young sophomore, very explosive.
Wow, that's some good news for La Mirada fans. He's just a kid, just a sophomore, having a pretty good evening. Remember, he fumbled through the end zone, but hey, you almost have to give him that one because it was such a great run. I think he was trying to reach the football across the goal line. Toss back to the sophomore. Vaca banging head, still driving the legs, taking 3 guys down near the 40-yard line. Good effort.
Boy, only a sophomore, 6 feet, 190. Junior Vaca looking very strong.
Marcus Riley on the tackle for Mayfair.
Looks a little shaken up. That'll be a big loss, but that's why I like the 2 running backs in the backfield for La Mirada. It gives Mayfair 2 keys that they have to key on, Vaca and Rudiger. Keep both of them in the backfield and force Mayfair to defend 2 dangerous players.
La Mirada is piecing together a drive. This will be the 7th play for John Mealy and the Matadors. Rudiger bounces off the first guy and then driven back by a whole others led by Marcus Riley. And it's going to be 3rd down.
Yeah, see, there's no secret to what La Mirada wants to do. They want to run the ball, and they can vary their offense on the ground. But with a single back there, it only gives the defense 1 person to key on, and that's what they do. And then the pursuit is going to get there.
He actually ran up the back of his right tackle, Nick Ndara, and then just busted it to the outside. Nothing in the middle, so take it out. Marcus Johnson, number 76. I'd say in the middle of your screen, but he pretty much is the middle of the screen.
Ryan Whittle's going to enter the game for La Mirada, the tailback, number 24.
3rd down, up the middle. Not going to get there. A yard. Rudiger tripped up as soon as he got it. Terrence Young on the hit for Mayfair. And now he has a decision. John Mealy. We saw Mike Fitch go for it on 4th and 1 with 28 seconds to go in the first half in his own end, just to kill the clock. And now Mealy at this weird area of the field, especially in high school football around the 40. It's too far to kick a field goal. It's really too close to punt. Punters usually kick it in the end zone. So what do? You usually go for it. And everybody's going to be on their feet when they snap this football. Cox going to throw. Overthrows his man at the 20-yard line. So La Mirada rolls the dice and comes up empty. Mayfair will take over, protecting a 7-point lead. We come back on the Game of the Week on Fox Sportsnet 2.
There are lots of fun ways to spend your time in California, and one fun way to spend your money. Like on a rugged and refined 2-wheel drive Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. Now with a great 0 down, $329 a month lease with only $329 due at signing. So if you want to spend time having fun, spend some time at your California Jeep dealer. Who else?
Deep in the desert, Sizzler researchers labor to bring you our famous sizzling platters. Juicy sizzling steaks, sizzling garlic chicken, even succulent sizzling shrimp. Now, at the shockingly low price of just $6.99. 5 sizzling platters, just $6.99. Right now at Sizzler.
Welcome back. It's the Game of the Week on Fox Sports Net 2. La Mirada and Mayfair for the Suburban League Championship, and the Monsoons of Mayfair with a 7-point lead. They're midway through the 3rd quarter, just taking over on downs. This La Mirada pass ball is incomplete on 4th down. Gonzalez hands to Kennett, straight arms a man, and the linebacker still on his feet, dragging guys across midfield.
Alan Kennett, so strong, and he's so low to the ground. He goes 5'8", 200. The 200 is in question, but Kennett does a nice job bouncing to the outside, and look at the low center of gravity. He delivers the blow. He's the hitter and not the hittee. Alan Kennett, nice run.
So he plays defensive offense.
Hey, as much ability that he's shown tonight, you need to keep him on the field as much as possible. He'll stay in and be the lone setback.
Yeah, he's a pretty special guy. Dominating on the defensive side, now carrying the load for the offense. And they give it to him again. Mirada wraps him up after a short gain this time.
And you see what a load that Kennett is. It took 3 or 4 Mirada defenders to bring him down. And he plays the game with just such tremendous heart, Jim. You see, he really wears his courage on his shoulder, and he just brings it every single play.
Adam Watson with the tackle for Mirada. Give him 2 yards on that one. And now he's got Mike Williams standing behind him. Mike Williams, one of the best backs in the state of California. And they toss it to number 3. To the 37 and close to a first down. He just looks like a college runner already, JJ. He's so mature and he's so balanced.
Yeah, and he just really understands the game. He's really a student of the game. This is a nice play call by Woody Grayson. The play fake to Kennett, you've gone to him a couple times, and of course, defense might fall asleep on Mike Williams, able to pitch it out and get him out to the outside on the perimeter. Picks up a nice gain of about 7 to bring up 3rd and very short.
And it's a good point you make, because how could you forget about a guy with those kind of numbers? But it's true, JJ, there's so many things going through the defender's head. And if you haven't seen a guy in 3 or 4 plays, sometimes it'll slip a little bit. You forget.
That's right, and that's what they did so effectively the first drive. Remember, in the first drive, 4 different players touched the football in that drive for positive gains. And of course, Terrence Young is the recipient of the touchdown that first drive and really caused the defense a lot of confusion on what area to try to defend next.
Now they measured it, and it comes up short. You can see Aldean is holding, what, the last 2 links in the chain. So it'll be 3rd down and less than a foot. You can see there, it's about 3 inches.
And really, Mayfair really has a down to play with here, in my opinion, Jim. Although it's 3rd and short, this would be a great time for a play-action pass. You might be able to spring one of the tight ends free down the middle with a good play fake.
And remember, he told us earlier that Mike Williams can throw the football.
What can't he do?
Now, he won't have to throw it this time. Mike Williams to the 27, first down.
Well, they stayed true to form. Mike Williams left side.
Now, they're not going to get cute. They're just going to hand it to him and say, go get it.
That's right. Well, there's two plays in that situation. Either you go for it all on this play, or you do what Mayfair's done, go right back to the bread and butter, and Mike Williams in between the tackles over that big left side.
And keep in mind that Mirada's stacking that front line. They know, Mayfair knows if he busts through there, he could take it. First down. Mike Williams now, 157 yards. Throw out in the flat, got a man, it's Hunter. Hunter to the 18.
Nice run after catch by Hunter. Hunter, the leading receiver on this team.
And Hunter comes up a little gimpy.
He came into the game with 16 catches, 380 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Of course, when you play on a team with Mike Williams in your backfield, you're not going to get many opportunities as a receiver, but Hunter has done a nice job.
2nd and 2 now. Terrence Young, the fullback. Gonzalez, a steady hand, and he gives it to Mike Williams. Williams dives to the 11.
And they continue to grind the ball out on the ground. Mayfair, not a very big offensive line, although the coach told us before the game that their weights are under their true weights. They've had a couple extra dinners since then. But Mike Williams in between the tackles, nice vision and always going north and south, always a sign of a great running back.
You know, that's something that Mike Fitch told us before the game. He says everybody talks about his outside ability and his speed, but Mike Williams can run the ball between the tackles as well. We're seeing it. They're featuring that on this drive. Williams Williams again. Now he busts it out. Shavers is right there and drags him down with some help.
And Jim, Mayfair, keeping the ball on the ground, has run off about 5 minutes on the clock already in this drive alone. Nice pursuit that time by Mirada on the outside, not allowing Mike Williams to bounce. But this drive is very long drive. And remember, they were winning the time of possession battle in the first half. And now, if they continue to do that in the second half, there's going to be more holes for Mr. Williams.
Yeah, and you saw that Mirada defense. They all had their hands on their hips, and they all were breathing heavy. That's a tired group right now. Kennett is the fullback. Williams has the football.
Boy, when their backs are against the wall, though, this defense seems to rise up. Of course, in the middle, you're going to find number 28, Rudiger. Another tackle. He's had a busy night tonight.
Watson also in there.
See the skull and crossbones on the back of their helmets for Mayfair.
Now, Rudiger and Kennett, they have the same job on their opposite clubs. Play some tough defense right on the nose of the football, and then you come over and carry it.
Exactly. They are the leaders. The only thing is with Rudiger, he has to carry the workload on offense, so he really has to be fatigued at this point, but he's still playing well.
3rd down and close to 12 now. Hand off to Kennett. Kennett on his feet. Kennett to the 1, and that's enough for a 1st down.
Oh, boy.
Is there anything he can't do?
Alan Kennett, what a big run. 3rd and 12. And it shows the confidence they have in that offensive line. And Kennett is that tackle at the line of scrimmage that he broke.
Well, that's a tired defense, too, JJ, running through a lot of arms.
They have worn them down right when Mirada needed a big play, unable to step up and bring Alan Kennett to the ground. And now they're on the doorstep.
And psychologically, as the clock ticks down, a chance to punch it in at the end of the 3rd quarter and leave Mirada down 2 touchdowns with 12 minutes to play. Mike Williams, touchdown.
And what an impressive drive this was. Seems like a broken record, but it's going to be Mike Williams left again. That offensive line, you see the surge. Offensive lineman in the end zone really makes it too easy for Mike Williams.
Extra point is good, and it's 21-7. So Mayfair takes over 5 minutes. They march 61 yards in 10 plays, and Mike Williams punches it in for another touchdown for the senior. It's 21-7.
The Supercut, it's the just make me look 21. The because there's nothing left to pierce. The 8-ball in the side pocket. The cue ball at the corner pocket. Whatever you call it, we can cut it at a price that looks good too. Supercuts, as hip as you want to be.
Almost overnight, it became part of the landscape and changed everything. It made trips seem less like work, errands easier, the cottage closer. It was so comfortable it was like we never left home. And like home, there's still no place like it. Dodge Caravan. The most innovative, most imitated, most trusted, best-selling minivan ever. Starting at $18,525.
Week, Mayfair with a 14-point lead over Mirada, playing for the Suburban League Championship and the #1 seed in Division 6 on the final night of the regular season for these two schools. And it's been party time for Mayfair since the kickoff. They've led all the way, 14-7 at the break. And Michael Williams just punches a touchdown in at the end of the 3rd quarter. 24 carries, 162 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the senior. And that guy is about 5 months away from being a college football player.
Mike Williams, a bright future in front of him, but he has some unfinished business. Remember, a big streak on the line for Mirada in this one. 37 straight league victories on the line. They're going to have to do something coming up here in the 4th quarter.
And Mirada could use a break. Shavers And Chambers never seemed like he really wanted to run it back, and Mike Bragg is all over him. I don't know if they were trying to set something up, but La Mirada is dazed and confused. They're going to have to get off the deck and fight their way back. They're down 21-7 after 3 on the game of the week.
This is my house. I occupy the zone between the rim and the sky. Make plans for dinner, because I'm going to eat your lunch. Cream always rises.
Introducing the first basketball shoe to contain helium from Converse.
Nobody knows high school sports like Cal High Sports. With 20 years of publication experience, Cal High Sports has something for everyone. It's the most comprehensive high school sports record book in the nation. The weekly newsletter gets fans a chance to check out the state rankings at football, basketball, baseball, softball, track, and field. And with Cal High Sports, you'll be able to find out who the top performers are in the state. To get your copy, call 1-800-888-8477 or visit the website at calhighsports.com.
Want to see a neat trick? All I do is push a button, and we have a whole new Ford Windstar. You can get dual remote sliding rear doors, new side impact airbags, and even a rear bumper that tells you how close you are.
The Windstar is just one of the reasons you'll want to visit your Ford dealer, especially now with all these great deals he's got on the 99s.
A woman had to have thought this up.
12 minutes to play, and the La Mirada fans are sitting on their hands because they're down 21-7. Mayfair, a good job on both sides of the football. Keith Owens is down on the line with an update on Junior Vaca and that La Mirada offense. What's up, Keith?
Yeah, Jimmy, that last offensive series for La Mirada, Junior Vaca came off nothing more than a cramp in his right calf. He laid down and got stretched out by the La Mirada training staff, got a little brief massage, and he was back up running around. He should be able to continue here tonight. Back to you.
Oh, that's good news for La Mirada, because they haven't had a lot of success rushing the ball, averaging 2.2 yards per rush compared to 8.0 for Mayfair. And because of that, they're going to go to the air and try to set up the screen.
Nice screen set up. Ryan Whittle, the recipient of that screen, and that's a great play call at this time of the game for John Mealy. John Mealy calls the plays for La Mirada, and with all the defensive pressure that's been put on his quarterback, he comes back with the screen. This is a nice play call. Gets Whittle out on the perimeter. He really had a convoy in front of him. The backside pursuit by Terrence Young, able to catch Whittle, but if they would have picked up Young, there was nobody else, and he might have had maybe 20 or 30 more yards in front of him to pick up.
The thing I liked about it is Whittle caught that football. He just started running right upfield, no messing around. I think he'll try to lay one out to the other side, and this ball is almost intercepted by Williams, but there's a flag as there was some contact. And maybe Chris Cox saw the pushing and shoving, and he threw it to draw that attention to the official.
Yeah, well, Cox is going to try to go to Brett Erickson, his tight end. But the pass interference is going to be committed by Marcus Riley.
And Riley's saying, hey, he's pushing me too.
Well, the one thing in pass interference is the defensive back has to play the ball. You'll see Riley just in the receiver's face. That is face guarding, not necessarily called pass interference. Of course, the penalties are still the same, but that's face guarding. And you see, you can't do that in football. Anytime that you are not making a play on the ball, you're going to get flagged. And that time, Riley was caught.
That's a good call, and you saw the back judge right there, right in front of him, had the play and throw the flag in there right away. Marcus Riley argues, but to no avail. First down now, and you can see Mayfair, 8 penalties nearing 100 yards. You can't give a team 100 yards in a league championship game. They're going to the air. Cox wants to step on him right now. Goes to him in. Oh, that is a great catch. Anthony Ortega.
Ortega, labeled as the possession receiver on this team, goes up top, and Cox hits him right on the money. And Jim, this ball by Cox is perfectly thrown. The receiver is going up the field, and Cox is going to lay it over his outside shoulder. Let Ortega make the adjustment, and the great catch.
Super catch by Ortega, and Chris Cox says yes. He is very understated as a quarterback. He knows there's a lot of work. Oh, and he starts to rub that right shoulder, JJ. I wonder, just got a pinch there, a little twinge. Keep an eye on it. They pump fake, go down the middle. Man wide open, Ortega touchdown. Well, the shoulder doesn't hurt. 19 yards.
La Mirada strikes back. They're right back in it. But, Jim, this play is made by Chris Cox. Cox is going to drop back and actually pump it and draw the coverage off of Ortega. This is just a great play by Cox, and then he delivers a strike for the touchdown.
And that pump fake really froze the defensive secondary.
And give credit to this La Mirada team. Every time that you think you have them down, they are not out. They've been down by 14 twice tonight, and on both occasions, they've struck right back for touchdowns.
Sam Orr on, a chance to bring La Mirada back within 7. And he yanks it. No good, and it remains 21-13. But La Mirada has shown something we haven't seen all night long, and that is the ability to move the ball through the air. Chris Cox, Anthony Ortega, touchdown, La Mirada.
If you're ready to lose weight, muscle up, and get back into shape, I've got a free video you're going to love.
Introducing a winning fitness strategy.
You got to eat healthy, drink plenty of water, and most importantly, strength train with Bowflex.
Strength training adds muscle. Not only does your shape look better, you actually increase your metabolism.
Hey, I'm 41, and I'm in the best shape of my life. And I can tell you, Bowflex really does work.
For a free video and brochure on the machine that can help you get into great shape at any age, call right now.
We met at a block party. We talked for hours. He was such a good listener.
Have you told him how we met yet?
If you have hearing loss, talk to Miracle Ear. We listen. Call
1-800-357-7766
now to get your free hearing evaluation and this free video information kit. Together, we'll design a solution just for you.
I knew this was a guy for me. He never had a chance.
I heard that.
Miracle Ear, because there's nothing more romantic than a good listener.
Better than real.
Well, while you were away, the officials made a call. We didn't see the flag, but in any event, you can see Aldine now is going to come over. Roughing the kicker is the call. So that means Orr's going to get another chance.
And boy, was that a big penalty.
It is a big penalty because if they don't make it, it's an 8-point game. The best they can do is score and go for 2 to tie. Now a chance to leave themselves down 7 again. So Orr gets another look at it. And that one, he makes the most of it. So penalties have become a big part of this game. Mike Fitch knows it.
And that one really hurts, Jim, because the roughing the kicker had nothing to do with the missed kick. La Mirada had missed that kick. And of course, that would have kept Mayfair's lead at 8, forcing La Mirada to not only score a touchdown, but go for 2 and be successful. But now it's a 7-point game.
And here's the touchdown again, the pump fake. That sells the corner, and Ortega's alone.
Yeah, Cox really made that play with that pump fake. They faked the screen, made it look like an obvious screen to Bo Price. Cox made a nice pump fake, drew the defensive coverage off of Ortega, and then delivered a nice, easy strike to Ortega for the touchdown.
Just like that, as you mentioned, JJ, every time you're ready to write La Mirada off, John Mealy reaches down to find something or someone else. And on that drive, it was Anthony Ortega who hadn't called his number or name all night long. He makes 2 catches in a row, 1 for 32 and 1 for 19. It was an 81-yard drive in 3 plays. They spent $1.15 doing it.
Well, you can almost bet with a 37-game winning streak, you've had to come from behind to pull some of them out, and that's what La Mirada is trying to do right now, keep that streak going.
This football is going in and out of the end zone. So it'll be Mayfair's ball at the 20-yard line. Keith Owens is down on the sideline with one young man who you just know would love to be standing in cleats tonight.
Yes, I am, Jim. Thanks a lot. I'm with La Mirada running back Mike Lemon. Now, Mike's season ended, unfortunately, early this year. He broke his leg in just the 4th play of the game against West Torrance. First of all, Mike, how's the leg doing, and when are the doctors telling you could get back?
The leg's doing good right now. I'm just rehabbing it, a lot of therapy. Not for sure. The doctor said I'm out for this whole year, but I'm feeling good right now. It's got a matter of time for my bones to heal back and get my screws out.
One of the toughest things for an athlete to have to deal with in terms of injury is just being on the sideline, standing and watching your guys, knowing that you can't be in there. How tough has that been for you all season?
That's tough because I really want to play bad. I only had 4 plays in the first game, so I don't know. Like right this time now, I really want to go out there and help him and stuff, do the best I can, but it's going to help him out. It's on the sideline.
Now you guys are right back in this ball game, down just 21-14. The running game hasn't really gotten going tonight. What's your impression of the way they've been playing tonight?
They're running by a 9-man front, running them up, blitzing people, so there's really no holes, but we still got good running backs. Just got to focus more on the passing.
All right, Mike, listen, thanks a lot. Good luck. Get that leg back healthy. Get you out back in there between the white lines. Jim, back to you.
All right, Keith, thank you very much, and best of luck to Mike Lemon getting healthy and getting back on a football field, because he is a very talented young man. Great numbers, 2,595 yards last year. One of only 24 guys ever in the state of California to rush for 2,500 yards. Offers from SC, Washington, ASU, among others. And he's doing what he can on the sideline. It's a tough assignment tonight, JJ.
Yeah, how unfortunate to lose one of your leaders. As he mentioned, only 4 plays into the season, and this is a player. Mike Lemon can really play. As you talk about, Jim, he's high on everybody's recruiting list, even after the broken leg.
And this is the other Mike Williams.
Well, I can tell you that there's one thing that La Mirada can do, and they can stop the run over that right side. Fula roams that right side. They've yet to make the adjustment. I would love to have him move to the opposite side to try to stop the run. But right now he's on that right side, and there is no running over number 55.
And very big play for both teams, and you can see the look on the coach's faces. 3rd down and 9. La Mirada wants it back.
Big play.
Gonzalez fakes to Williams, keeps it himself, and the junior is knocked out of bounds at the 42-yard line, short of a 1st down, and it appears Mayfair will have to kick it away, but with the riverboat gambler Mike Fitch on the sideline, you never know what he's going to do. Gonzalez hasn't gotten word yet.
Well, you know he's thinking about it, and I really like the play call. Use Mike Williams as a decoy and let Gonzalez try to turn the corner. The only thing is they probably should have ran that play to the wide side. It would have given Gonzalez a little bit more room to maneuver the sideline that time, and the pursuit of La Mirada able to run him out 2 yards short of the 1st down.
And for the 2nd time tonight in a must-make situation, Mike Fitch is going to pull the lever and see if he can spin 3 cherries. They are 1 for 1 on 4th downs tonight. Remember, at the end of the 1st half. Just trying to draw him off. It looks like JJ and the back judge throws it in the air. That's delay a game. And I think that's all they were trying to do.
Well, Drew Gonzalez has had some luck early in the game, getting La Mirada into the neutral zone.
So it is delay against Mayfair. And you saw Mike Fitch signaling for a timeout. I don't know why you'd want a timeout, because you're just going to kick the football away. They don't call the timeout.
And that's a big stop for the La Mirada defense.
Mayfair now with 10 penalties on the night, JJ. But if they continue to hold on, you can bet they'll forget about a lot of those. Almost blocked that kick. Bo Price, and he watches it bounce away from him, makes a catch. Bo Price tripped up from behind. He's fun though, isn't he?
It's Bo Price quick.
A little scary for the home folks here. 45 yards on the kick, 10 on the return. Now tomorrow night on the net, don't miss football news at 5:30 for all your gridiron needs. And then at 7:30, catch some exciting women's volleyball as we bring you the Pac-10 match of the week. been the number 16 ranked women of Troy and the Oregon Ducks. I'll be at that one. Don't forget about Fox Sports News Primetime, of course, tomorrow night and every night, 10 o'clock. Your scores, your highlights, your day in the world of sports. It's all coming up tomorrow. Don't you miss it. Jared Elliott filling in up at USC, the interim head coach, doing a great job with the women of Troy. They're third in the Pac-10. Bo Price off his fingertips and hit by Joe Hunter. Incomplete.
Well, Mirada going to the air a little bit more in the second half. Exclusively on the ground in the first, but here in the second half, they've had some success. So they go right back to the air. That time, Bo Price unable to come up with the catch. But Chris Cox has really shown me something. He came into the night not throwing a lot. He only has 962 yards on the year, 7 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, but he throws at a 57% pass percentage. That will get it done.
For the night, Cox is now 5 of 8 for 148 and a couple of touchdowns. They keep it on the ground this time. Terrence Young, the tackle from Mayfair. Cox, I don't know if he's limping or if that's just the way he runs.
Well, for Mirada, they're almost to the point of the game that they wanted to get to. They wanted to be in this game at the end with the hopes of wearing down the Mayfair team. Remember at the top, Jim, we talked about 5 players on Mayfair go both ways and only 1 for Mirada. So you would think that Mirada would be a little bit more fresh, at least on the front line and in the trenches.
3rd down and 11. Cox to throw. In the flat, got Price. Price makes a catch, and Price gets to the 40-yard line for a first down. He's the littlest guy on the field, and he's made the biggest plays of the night for the guys in the yellow hats.
Yeah, but Chris Cox, Jim, give him credit. Chris Cox throws this ball before Price even makes his break, and when Price turns around, the ball lands right in his lap. As you see, it's right on the money. Price makes the catch.
And Cox takes some punishment, too, backside.
Oh, he's just standing
from
in.
Terrence Young.
He has taken the weight of the pressure of this game on his shoulders, and he's really responding, Chris Cox. Not much emotion, though, from Chris.
No, but I like that quarterback. Let everybody else dance around. You're the quarterback. You're the leader. You're the big gun on campus. You expect to do it. That's why you're there. Cox is a senior. First down, pressure, set up the screen. They throw it on the flat, almost intercepted. Well, Jesse Cox again.
Yeah, and almost his first mistake of the night. Anytime you're going to run the screen, the linemen have to hold the defensive front a little bit. You want to hold them for at least a 1, 2, 3 count to give your quarterback time to drop back and let the play develop. That time, Mirada let that defensive front of Mayfair come through way too fast. Cox had to get rid of it and almost paid for it with an interception.
Trying to go to Whittle again. Remember, they ran that screen before and it worked.
Yeah, this is a very fast Mayfair team. They pursued the ball very well. Screens and misdirection plays will take advantage of that.
2nd down and 10, 3 receivers for Cox. Better protection. And throws looking for Ortega, but good coverage, and so it lands behind him.
Yeah, Craig Garcia, the corner over there, an excellent coverage. He hasn't been tested over there on that corner.
Cox comes over to talk to Mealy.
Another big 3rd down, and Mirada has really gone exclusively to the pass here in the second half. Now they had some success on the ground, not much, but they've had to have a couple big plays running the ball in the second half. They're relying on Chris Cox's arm to carry them.
3 receivers, and one of them is Bo Price. And you'll never see it. Terrence Young says, kick it to us.
Oh my, Terrence Young. And that is a big hit. I don't know how Chris Cox is going to be able to get up from this hit. Terrence Young is going to come untouched. He stunts from his linebacker position. They've been blitzing all day long, and you see the hit. He literally lifts Cox up off of his feet. Big hit. Terrence Young.
And JJ, Terrence Young's dad is sitting right in front of us up here at the top of the bleachers. He was the first guy up, pumping a fist, and everybody's patting him on the back. And meanwhile, Cox shaken up, helped off the field. And he just got a face full of a defender on that one. Kick it away from the return. And Bragg going to take it on a bounce. knocked down at the 44. Oh, and Mayfair needed a big play. It came in the form of number 35, Terrence Young. He stops the drive, but has he stopped Chris Cox for the rest of the night?
The Supercut, it's the just make me look 21. The because there's nothing left to pierce. The 8-ball in the side pocket. The cue ball at the corner pocket. Whatever you call it, we can cut it at a price that looks good too. Supercuts, as hip as you want to be. Supercut, it's the my band goes on at 10. The I only date college guys. And no. The I hate to cover this with a football helmet. The E equals MC squared. Whatever you call it, we can cut it at a price that looks good too. Supercuts, as hip as you want to be.
Mayfair fans back on their feet. The monsoon defense, a huge wave, 21-14 as they hold down La Mirada. And there's Dad right in front of the press box. He's right back in the defensive stance, JJ. A minute ago, it's all hugs and kisses up here. Now look at him. He's got game face again.
Well, after the big hit from his son, it looks like Dad has had a couple playing days behind him. Terrence Young with the big hit in that sack gets Mayfair the ball back.
Mike Williams hurdles a couple of tacklers, give him 2.
Well, there's no doubt that everything is on the line on the drive. La Mirada must come up with the stop, and it's going to be simple. It's going to be number 3 that they're going to have to contain.
And you know, Mayfair just wants to milk that clock, and Mike Fitch continues to work it on the sideline. He always looks nervous. He always looks a little worried. Now, Mayfair, their best starting position on the field of the whole night right here, JJ, at the 45-yard line on that first snap. Again, it's Williams. Again, it's Williams. Mike Williams. Mike Williams out of bounds. His 28th carry, and that one's going to put him up near 190 yards. And already a couple of touchdowns. We wondered for 2 years if he's for real. He is.
Yeah, we're definitely getting to find out how special he is. And Jim, it was simple on this drive. Mayfair said, we're going to Mike Williams, and La Mirada had to stop him. And right now, Mike Williams is just unstoppable.
Over 200 yards now, 28 carries, 202 yards for Mike Williams of Mayfair High.
And even in the fourth quarter, he's still hitting the holes as hard as he was in the first.
They go to Young. Terrence Young, who just made the big defensive play. Well, we've seen him there before.
Right, and of course, that's the problem when you have a strong 2 running back attack. The defense is forced to Keon Williams is going to open up holes for Young. Of course, Young had the first touchdown of the night to make it 7-0. This game picks up 8.
Second down and 2 for the boys in blue. And they beat La Mirada chance on the Mayfair side. Kennett inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. Now for 18 years, they watched La Mirada walk out of here with their heads held high. They did it again last year in the league championship. Then Mayfair got some revenge by winning the CIF championship at the end of the year in an upset. But they still haven't won they've never won the league title, JJ. They're 5 minutes away.
Yeah, they're 5 minutes away and in good position. 3rd and 1, the clock is still ticking. Mayfair has a nice streak of their own, though, Jim. Remember, 14-game winning streak that started after the loss to La Mirada in the season finale last year.
Figure to keep it on the ground, and they do. Mike Williams has got 2 touchdowns, driving and dragging guys to the 5. Well, Mayfair's getting a little chippy afterwards.
Yeah, and Mayfair's in range to just ice this game away. La Mirada's gonna have to come up with a play, a turnover, strip the ball, anything at this point. But this Mayfair offensive front is very, very strong. They've gone exclusively over that left side. You can't say enough about the job that Johnson, Bender, and Bridges have done tonight.
And those guys have earned everything they're gonna get. Buy them a pizza. They've been out there all night long, but you mentioned it before, JJ. It seems like every time we're ready to count La Mirada out, they come up with a play. They need one now. Terrence Young and Kennett, the 2 backs. No Mike Williams. It's the beef, and they go to Kennett. Inside the 3-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Well, Jimmy, talk about the credentials on that left side for Mayfair. Johnson, the left tackle, named All-League last year. He'll take trips to Wisconsin, Washington, Nevada, Kansas, and Idaho State. Bender, All-CIF last year. He's looking to issue Idaho State and Washington. So there's some talented beef on that left side.
And Mike Williams is back in the game. He joins the huddle late. He took his time getting out there. He's a tired young man. 2nd and goal. They're going to mark him at the 4. Mike Williams. Touchdown.
Well, what other way does Mayfair cap off a drive but running over the left side? The big fella's doing it again up front. Very experienced, all three of them 3-year starters. They told us in the clutch situation they go left, and it's been Mike Williams all night left.
209 yards and 3 touchdowns on the night. Extra point is good. 28-14. Mike Williams has done it all tonight. 3 times he's taken it into the end zone.
And Jim, watch the job that the Hogs do up front. The leverage, Johnson just clears the hole open by himself. And then that frees Mike Williams to look directly at linebackers and safeties all night. And of course, he can make one guy miss in the hole, as he does there. And then the lean, the extra thrust into the end zone, the icing on the cake, and the celebration.
Oh, they love it up top.
Long time coming for Mayfair. They've been waiting for this night for years. It looks like they're on their way to their first league championship.
Shut the Matadors down. Yeah, we get it. Mayfair is the CIF defending champions right now, but Mike Fitch, he was about as nervous as a coach would be before a CIF final before this one.
Yeah,
and now there's the grin.
Well, I had a chance to go to Mayfair's campus and visit with Coach Fitch to do a story on Mike Williams. Very special player, great young man, Jim. He had everything it takes, really a class act, but Coach Fitch at that time was pointing to this game. He knew that it would come down. He felt his team would be undefeated in the season finale, but they had some unfinished business. It looks like he gets his revenge tonight.
And it's all choreographed. You saw the sign, shut down the Matadors, and then they play the doors over the PA system here. So apparently we're just late to the party because they've been doing this for a while here. And Mike Fitch starts bobbing the head, and we see the grin for the first time tonight. It's not over, but it looks pretty good for Mayfair. Out across the 30-yard line.
And Jim, to show you the job that Coach Fitch has done with this Mayfair program, they hadn't won a CIF playoff game since 1974 until Mike Fitch took over as coach. They won their first playoff game in '96, and of course last year they win the CIF title.
And all adds up to 28-14 right now. With 3.5 minutes to play. Mike Williams still on the field, of course, because he plays in the defensive secondary as well, and Mayfair has called timeout.
And Jim, we give Mike Fitch all the credit, but I know he'd want to give credit to his coordinators. They've done a nice job. Woody Grayson, we talked about him. The offensive coordinator's done a nice job tonight. On the defensive side, Ed Lishak has done a tremendous job because he had to stop a very talented La Mirada offense. He made them look average tonight, and he's done it through a lot of different linebacker blitzes and stunts. They've stopped the run, and they've also put pressure on the quarterback.
And, of course, Grayson and Lishak all coached with Fitch over at Whittier High School before they came over to Mayfair, so those guys have been together an awfully long time. Had a chance to visit with the coaches down in the end zone prior to this one. They were all in that little coaches huddle, the war room. We invaded it for just a second. They were real nice to us and gave us some insight on tonight's game. We appreciate it, gentlemen. Thank you very much. High school football has changed an awful lot.
Yeah.
Coaches all dressed alike, much bigger staffs. They got the video cams out now, and that still comes out to strapping it on and getting it done.
That's right. They do a little bit of everything. And, you know, Mayfair really has been put on the map. A lot of it's a tribute to Mike Williams, but you also have to give credit to Coach Fitch. He's built a great program.
Cox still in there pitching, throws, and has a man. It's Ortega, and there's a flag, so hold on. This flag holding against La Mirada, going to back him up, and you can see the reaction on Ortega's face, and a good effort there by Marcus Riley, who grabbed Ortega by the face mask. I'm not sure if Ortega knew why, but he had a big chunk of turf in his helmet. He helps him out.
Well, Jim, one thing that does surprise me at this point in the game is that I thought that since Mayfair has so many players going both ways, they'd be the more fatigued team at this point in the game, but that's not the case. La Mirada is definitely beat, especially up front. Their front line looks very tired.
Now remember, they all grow up in the same neighborhood, so maybe one night a year they're not friends, but they still remember they have to go to school in the same place. And Riley says, let me get that off. You know, you're on TV, look your best. There you go.
Sportsmanship still doesn't end.
Yeah, and I saw a great moment earlier. Rudiger was helping people up as Mayfair was driving for that go-ahead touchdown, or that touchdown may have iced it. He was helping guys up off the pile, guys in full color jerseys. That's always nice to see down at the high school level. And Mayfair has overcome 10 flags. Holding on to a 28-14 lead.
Yeah, which is really amazing. You would expect that with the penalties as lopsided as they are, La Mirada would catch some breaks, and they did catch some breaks with penalties. But the key tonight has been the turnovers or lack thereof for Mayfair. They've been able to control the ball for the most part, and that is why they lead 28-14.
Here's the reason for the delay. The clock says 3:27. The problem is it said 3:27 before that last play, so they're going to have to reset it. Now we're keeping a clock in the truck. We have it at 3:17. We'll see how close they come up with that. Right now, we're not going to have to wait to run it all the way down, are we, JJ?
I hope they'll be able to do something to get that clock down to 3 minutes. Otherwise, we might be here a while.
Well, that's why you stay home and watch the game on Fox Sports Net, too, because our clock's still working. Alan Dean is explaining it to the La Mirada sideline, and John Mealy.
Now, in this situation, the official does have
and now we're going to say officially it's going to be 3:20, and now everybody agrees.
Right.
In the meantime, the Mardi Gras continues for Mayfair.
They were able to make the adjustment with the clock. In the event that they wouldn't have been able to adjust the clock, though, the official can always keep the time himself, but fortunately, he won't have to do that.
Now, after the penalty, it's 1st and 27, and boy, is La Mirada in a hole. Down 2 touchdowns, and need almost 30 yards for a first down. Here comes the pressure. He's going to throw it out, 2 receivers, or the kicker. Did he make a catch? Mayfair says no. The official says yes. Now, did he? The official made a signal as if he caught it. Now it's incomplete. Incomplete.
Well, the pressure.
for Mayfair.
They were able to make the adjustment with the clock. In the event that they wouldn't have been able to adjust the clock, though, the official can always keep the time himself, but fortunately, he won't have to do that.
Now, after the penalty, it's 1st and 27, and boy, is La Mirada in a hole. Down 2 touchdowns, and need almost 30 yards for a first down. Here comes the pressure. He's going to throw it out to receivers, or the kicker. Did he make a catch? Mayfair says no. The official says yes. Now did he? The official made a signal as if he caught it. Now it's incomplete. Incomplete.
Well, the pressure once again going to be put on by Terrence Young, forces Cox to get rid of this ball a little early.
And that's a good call, obviously.
And a nice play by Garcia, also going up to the highest point. Able to fight Orr off of the ball and let the ball fall incomplete.
Cox has had a decent night. Remember, he's had a couple of completions called back because of penalties.
Right, but remember, this is a running team, and Cox has put both of their touchdowns on the board through the air.
Cox to throw again. Here comes the pressure. Set up for Whittle, the screen. And Whittle out across the 30-yard line. Crowd wanted a clip on Terrence Young.
Well, he's going to get a big piece of this back, and I know that La Mirada, after this game, when they look back, their passing game has been so successul. That's mainly due to the Mayfair defensive tactics. They've decided to blitz a lot, blitz linebackers, and really shoot the gap, which has stopped the La Mirada run. But I know they'll look back and wish that Chris Cook would have put the ball in the air a little bit more often.
Great shot of Chris Cox on the sideline over there, just staring back into the eyes of his head coach, John Mealy. He hasn't given up.
Yeah, Cox has really played well, and remember, he's played well under duress. He has had pressure on him all night long.
2:38 to play. Fitch asking for some help from the home folks. They have packed the Mayfair stands here tonight. They expected 6,000. At JJ, both stands are filled. That's the small stands. You can see it's filled, and then there are people all the way down in the corners. People outside on the street peering through the chain link fence on the sidewalks. Cox to throw. Looks, throws one up. Almost intercepted by Hunter, should have been. He knows it.
Yeah, Joe Hunter does a nice job of timing that ball. He played behind Bo Price and made his move right at the right time. Should have come up with that interception, just a drop ball.
And now it's 4th down.
You know, we talk about how talented Hunter is. He also doubles as the receiver and the corner. He's a cousin of Mike Williams, so there's no wonder the talent runs in the bloodline.
Yeah, they live in the same house as well. And so now for Hunter and for all the other defensive backs for Mayfair, oh, this is a dream. 4th and 13 in front of a packed house to wrap up the league title. Caught by Price, and Bo Price has a first down, and Bo Price makes a couple of good moves, and then is pulled down by his shirt. And number 1 is a lot of fun to watch, and Chris Cox is not done.
I'll tell you what, Bo Price threw the double move on Mike Williams and really just left him in his almost broke his ankles with this move. Bo Price.
This is a great move.
The catch on the outside. He eludes Hunter there.
I'm going here.
And
no, I'm not.
And there's a double move. there he goes, Bo Price. Nice move, nice run.
Williams at least stayed with him enough to get a piece of the jersey, but Bo Price, a couple of great moves on Mike Williams, who has a few good moves of his own. First down, 31-yard gain to the 39-yard line, Mayfair. Shotgun, Cox looking downfield, off the hands of Orr. And he had him.
Yeah, Cox has really thrown the ball well tonight. He's really been the focal point of the La Mirada offense. He's been pretty much their only offense. They've had a couple big runs, but for the most part, Mayfair shut down the running attack, challenged Cox to beat him. He's responded well, but I know that they're going to go back, look at the film, and say maybe we should have started airing it out a little bit earlier.
Shotgun now for Cox. Good protection. Goes down the middle and intercepted. And guess who? It's Mike Williams looking for touchdown number 4. And Mike Williams is in the end zone. And Mayfair is going to win the Suburban League Championship. 80 yards on the pick and the prance.
They're going crazy on the Mayfair side, and what a way for Mike Williams to end his high school career. The biggest game of the season, and the big-time player has shown up.
His last home game, Chris Cox didn't have much choice. He had to throw the ball into coverage. Extra point is good.
And Jim, as you mentioned, you can't blame Chris Cox. The pressure's been on him all night. You'll see him take the hit after the throw.
Terrence Young again.
Of course, he has to try to make a play with your team down by 2 touchdowns.
And watch, Mike Williams gives you a little Dion here with the football.
Mike Williams playing center field.
And now he becomes a running back.
Oh, and then, yeah, and it's over if he's in the open field. Mike Williams, what an end to a great career.
You think they'll show that one at the banquet? And there's the flip side of it.
But I'll tell you, Chris, you can't blame yourself. You've done everything to help your team win tonight. Trying to make plays. Last week, he actually had a good game also. 9 of 10 for 159 and 1 touchdown. So he came in with the hot hand.
Don't write La Mirada off. They're going to be 8-2, 6-1 in league, ranked 3rd in the division. And remember, last year, it was Mayfair turning the tables as they met the CIF final and getting their revenge. So the season isn't over, and high school football has a very funny way of coming back to reward those who don't give up too early.
That's right. I wouldn't be surprised to see these 2 teams square off in the playoffs. They are that good.
35-14.
The interesting thing will be the pairings in the brackets. Of course, we know Mayfair is going to be number 1. Where will La Mirada fall? Will they fall in Mayfair's bracket? They could meet in the semifinals. If not, they could meet again in the finals.
Mark Kennedy to kick off. He's been perfect on the extra points. Kicks this one short. Shavers. Shavers going all the way across the field, but not picking up a whole lot of room. Matt Douglas with the tackle, but I think they're going to get him for a face mask. So if Mike Fitch has anything to be real upset about, it's all the penalties.
Yeah, it's been about the only thing that hasn't gone right for Mayfair tonight. His team has been flagged. This will make 11 times on the night. So he has some work to do, and he has some motivating tools for his team on Monday's practice. But all in all, this has been a dominant performance by a very good team.
Aldine shows you face mask first off. La Mirada. Well, my high school coach used to say that a truly big player plays big on the big night. 84-yard touchdown run, 1-yard touchdown run, 4-yard touchdown run, 80-yard interception return for a touchdown, 227 yards, 4 scores. I got a big night. Will on the handoff. Tackle by Kennett. Let's forget the effort that that young man turned in.
Yeah, he's had a highlight reel himself from his nose guard position. Leads the team tackles as a nose guard. That is amazing.
Now, La Mirada has dominated the Suburban League. Right now, they're sitting on a 37-game win streak. In league, they beat Mayfair 18 times coming into tonight. All that's going to change in 45 seconds.
And, of course, the team with the longest current streak, the Hart Indians, who we saw a couple weeks ago.
Cox out in the flat. Ortega spun around and dropped at midfield. Now, if you're a Mayfair fan and you've lived in this area a long time, and maybe your kids went through here and now you're just hanging around the program, or your grandkids are playing now, how long has it been since you've seen Mayfair beat La Mirada in a league game? I know they beat them in the CI final, but this is all about bragging rights in these parts. And that guy has done a great job bringing Mayfair back, putting them on the map, and now he is about to hand them their very first Suburban League title. After 18 years, the wait is over. Mayfair has won the league.
Well, congratulations has to go out to Mike Fitch, the great job he's done with this program. Of course, Mike Williams, a climatic game to end his high school career.
That was a great contest. Mike Fitch enjoys the hats, the horns, and the hugs as Mayfair puts La Mirada down for the second time in a row. Remember, they beat him for the CIF final. Maybe they'll meet again. That's going to do it for us. For Director Billy Irwin and Micah King, your producer. Great job in the truck, guys. For John Jackson, of course, Keith Owens down on the sideline. Tim Watson saying so long. From Bellflower High School, your final score again, Mayfair 35, La Mirada 14. A reminder to be sure to tune in Saturday, December 4th, as we bring you the CIF Divisional Playoffs right here on Fox Sports Net 2. So be sure to check your local listings for the teams, dates, and times in your area. One more time, Mayfair 35, La Mirada 14. We will see you in the second season.